Okay. It's been a while. Who wants to recap what happened to the last session? Unless you want me to try to recap it to the best of my memory. Alright, it has been a while.
I already have inspiration. Sorry.
It has been a while, so, I'll go a little bit further back. So you guys were out at sea seeking a lightning shard at behest of Secret. Hold on, I'm gonna just play the soundtrack of Veer.
Yay.
Okay. So, you were out on a fishing trip trying to find a lightning shard. Secret had a premonition that there was going to be a ghost ship and ghosts shenanigans, and that certainly did happen. You fought some pirates who the prisoners on the ship had identified as being having some revolutionary tendencies of some sort. Whether or not that's just a cover up or their actual beliefs remains to be seen. You'll likely get more information if you follow up to Miss Wright, because presumably you have captured the captain and a couple of the passengers, so they will be interrogated, and they're probably going to give you a straight answer later down the line. So you met the pirate revolutionaries. You did catch the shard as Drugel had planned, or as Drugel had been foretold. And you did see some ghostly shenanigans. 2 ghost whales, a horde of ghost fish, and some gigantic bone monster. After dispelling the mind control on the large adult whale, everything seemed to just mindlessly wander off. Then some gigantic monstrosity appeared in the sky and started chasing the ship, at which point the rest of you decide to bail. Getting back in port. Oh yeah, and I might as well just remind you what that thing looked at. Who knows? Maybe you'll see it again later. Who knows? You guys
What's its
fled.
holy symbol? I want to join that.
What is the holy symbol?
Just joking.
Who knows? Maybe someone knows what the holy symbol might look like now. So you guys make it back to port. Shortly after arriving into port, the captain wakes up, asks you what the heck just happened and if you saw any ghost ships, and the party declined to give him a straight answer. So he currently believes that you guys didn't see anything out there. The crew doesn't even describe anything that happened out there. And he was just knocked out the whole time, and he's just very disappointed that nothing happened. Shortly after, a few royal ships rolled in from the city-state Pionda, or Pionda, as foreigners would pronounce it here. It contained mostly women. Women in positions of power. Specifically, this one was the queen. They spoke about fighting some sort of gigantic undead monstrosity out there at sea and driving it out. You do witness them do a variety of things. One of them, when you had warned them that there might be ghosts nearby, one of the priestesses pulled out a big water jug and started sucking in all of the water nearby. Which is she basically used turn undead, but it's related to Aqua and Sanguine, the gods of water and blood. Zorg walked in and asked if any of them were interested in joining the war game. Essentially, you were pointed to Sue, or Isul. by the guard captain. I told you to call her Un. I think I'll make it even simpler and just call her G. Her full name is Gaun, and if you took any notes, then it would have been... Actually, it's still in chat, so I can just repaste it.
I have it here somewhere in my notes.
Yeah. Those are the names of the major players from Pionda at the moment. Stefan walked up and decided to make an acquaintance with Era by introducing her to Monica, and they exchanged words. Monica's likely learned a few new things from the Piondans. Pyre was not interested, so he was about 5 miles in the other direction, off preparing his big project.
If you want to get Pyre away from something, man it by a bunch of women in leadership.
Quelkick decided to connect with most of the party members, and to put it briefly, basically he wanted to organize a big hunt for the whole party to go on. He spoke with every single party member individually and tracked Pyre down as well. And I believe... No, wait. I don't think that happened in the session. That happened out of the session. Oh, and right as everyone was taking a long rest, Quelkick noticed a loud explosion. He decided to head to the scene, and they spoke vaguely of... there was an explosion at Mr. Crowns' office. People are saying that it's probably some sort of a revolutionary... It might have some sort of revolutionary significance of some sort. Perhaps it's taking down the corrupt laws or something like that, but that's just rumors from the guy who was talking with Quelkick. As for the real origin, your guess is as good as mine. But to go a little bit more into detail, Quelkick did pay for more information, and I forget if I went into heavy detail. I'll go into the little details now. Based off of some preliminary examination of the crime scene, so there was a fire in the Supreme Court, and there was also an explosion at Mr. Crowns' office. Based off of the rubble nearby. So, okay. The explosion likely came from a safe. That safe has a big dent in it. And judging by the rubble, that safe was likely dropped from above. And fell through the roof. The safe triggered and activated a spell that's similar to a Glyph of Warding and basically exploded. Right now, that is not public information, though.
The fire and the explosion were not related.
They were in different locations. The fire was created through a bunch of alchemists' fire. And the explosion in the Crown office was created by the safe.
Okay. So the Crown office wasn't in the same building.
They are in the same building. They're just not in the same room.
Different spot. Okay, got you.
Different distances. Yes. that is that. Qualkek, your adult whale does come back. I forget if it had any special mission. I know you were expecting to lose it, but I don't remember if it told him anything specific.
So what I just wanted to do, the reason why I thought I'd lose it is because if it went back into like the control range or whatever was like, because it just kind of stopped. So I assume it can be taken back over again. So I was like, okay, well, we don't know where it is. So I'm going to assume that if it just wanders into that range, boom, it's going to be gone. So the mission was just like, if it doesn't come back, and I've asked it, can you please come back? You know, it doesn't have to, but like, could you come back? I can make two assumptions. First off, it did get captured, and now we have to deal with it later, or it just didn't want to come back for some reason, found a reason to do it.
Okay.
But the
Well,
mission
it
was
did
just
come back.
basically
Yep.
just to scout. I just want to look like, hey, have you seen a giant ship in the sky? I mean, is there like, have you seen a boat that's in the sky? Have you seen any more of the weird creatures underneath? Basically, things that like, if I had to put in the mindset of a whale, it'd be like things you wouldn't expect. Like it would expect boats, right? Because it's seen boats,
Yeah.
so it knows what a boat is. So it'd see if a boat was flying in the sky, it'd be like, that's weird. Like it wouldn't recognize like, oh, it's flying maybe, because it might not be smart enough. But it's like the idea that a boat's up there and or a fish that they would see being dead like a skeleton, they'd be like, okay, that's weird. That shouldn't be alive. You know, that sort of thing. Like weird things. I want to tell me what has it seen that's weird as it's going out there. So it's just more like a general scouting thing.
Okay. So it does go into its ethereal ghost form. It does also vaguely tell you that it like although the earth is flat and theoretically he could see all the way to the end of creation, there does seem to be a limit. He doesn't know math or distances that well, so he can't give you specifics, but there is a limit to how far he can see in the ghostly plane. But at the very least he doesn't notice anything suspicious other than if you remember that bone eel thing, that bone.
Yeah,
It pops up every once in a while and then it goes back. It doesn't seem to
where does it go? Well, like the general area that's popping up in.
It's popping up in the northeast. So essentially over here. It's popping up in the northeast and then disappearing. The adult whale does mention that it seems to be wandering aimlessly.
Oh, okay. So it's just the sightings have been here.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, I'll ask it if it wants to continue searching for me. Otherwise, I believe that I'll just kind of release it from its burden of not necessarily following what I'm saying, but just like humoring what I'm saying. I don't know if it will even recognize that sort of request of like freedom. I don't know, because it's a ghost. I don't know what your system has for like ghosts and their unfinished business.
So, do you tell Marius about either of those? Because he will drop by. You will have an opportunity to tell him. Will you tell him about the ghost whales or the ghost ship?
I definitely would at least mention it during our training, because it was, first off, it's the fact that I could even connect with it at all that's a question of me. Like, I get it, it's a soul, but it's also like weird how it's not passing on sort of deal. And I get undead, but this is a bit of a mixture of an undead. So yeah, I probably would have mentioned it to him.
Okay.
So
he does mention that it is possible to force souls to stay on the material plane and effectively just have mindless souls, but they do require a little bit of maintenance. So this adult whale and possibly the baby whale might start becoming actual mindless zombie ghosts, if not properly cared for. If you want, you could just give it to Marius and just have him figure it out, because he does tell you that this is kind of his job, being a Rosenthian soulbinder.
I kind of have to give this over to him. I don't know my own limitations. I don't know my own abilities. All I'm gonna ask him is that I want whatever he does. If he is gonna terminate them, at least make it so that it's instant or as close to it as possible. So, but
Okay.
I will hand over control of them over to him. So
He does ask you, though I am curious, does something like this interest you in the future? The idea of sustaining souls on this plane, or the idea of allowing these souls to pass? I know that your situation is a bit unusual as well, so I've been wondering, what is your stance on the subject?
I did not have a choice in what I became. There are others that have an opportunity through intervention that can pass on. Their usefulness to me in this instance is a passing coincidence. But I do not wish to see their souls continue to rot here. Better that they go back into the cycle than they continue in this form.
I see.
As for in the future, sustaining them. Perhaps if there was a reason why I could keep a soul from passing on, from reverting and becoming new. Yes, for a friend, a child, sick, parents grieving. Perhaps if I could keep their soul here until I could find a way of repairing them, their bodies, only to return them. Yes, if such a thing is possible. But only in those circumstances.
I shall give it some thought. Perhaps I could teach you in the future how to anchor souls to yourself. But that is theory for another time.
I do not expect your teachings to be instant. I have a long time to learn.
Longer than most. All right. So that is that. So the whales go over to Marius, and he's going to figure out what to do with them. And you've also informed him of the ghost ship situation, right?
I give him everything, including the, like...
Okay.
I think I would have seen the weird humanoid thing. I know I was kind of moving away with the... I don't know, would have glanced back and saw it. Didn't even ask before, but... I know I was heading with the whale with the prisoners off to the land, so I don't know if I would have seen that blocked by the ship. I don't know.
More than likely, when it shifted between planes, you probably would have felt something strange and then looked back.
Okay.
Because
right.
You have felt various ethereal effects already, including from the whales themselves.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty big ethereal effect to just have a guy come down and glow for a second. So yeah, I'll describe everything that happened. Try to give him a picture of what's going on. Because I'm getting no help from the people of the city right now, so I gotta find someone.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll see this as an opportunity and try to charge right into the jaws of death themselves to try to claim a stone. Who knows what these money-motivated fools might be thinking?
You know what? At this point, as long as... Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm prepared for that. I'm surprised that it hasn't happened before now, because now they're just... Don't do this to me, man. I already have to be the healer here. All right? I don't want to have to think about that many spell slots I got to do for that scenario if that goes down.
I mean, you already know that... I have already mentioned that some of the nobles have already made plans to make expeditions out to foreign lands to try to search for these gems for themselves.
To be honest, I don't really trust Veer either. I like the fact that he's kind of putting it off, and I get his reasonings for it, but Yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and wait because I can't really. What am I gonna do? Bust down doors and be like, "All right, tell me all your secret plans." I'm just gonna have to leave it till it strikes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to be reactive instead of proactive, which absolutely sucks.
All right. That's that. For the Lumen hunting gear thing that you asked for last time, that's you want secret on. That might be related to your hunting thing, but we will see. I'm gonna put that one on the back burner.
Gotcha. That was for like the items and stuff. I was looking for like basically I'm
Yep.
undead hunting stuff. So
Chances are you're not gonna get it immediately, but that is still something to keep in mind. What about-
that's it. As long as it's on the burner and he's doing something about it, that's all I can ask of him.
All right. I forget if there's anything else that happens that anyone wanted to do during the night, but this is the end of the long rest. It's morning time. Stefan, the first thing that happens in the morning is probably combination of both entering the Church of Sarkava and the marriage. How detailed do you want to get to? Because I can just let you narrate like what's happening. And
It doesn't need to be very detailed. Are we
Yeah.
going to that point now where
yeah, it's more than likely going to be the
Mother
very
has shown
first.
up?
Yes, Elwyn. So the party would have noticed, when you woke up, just a bunch of things getting set up very, very quickly. It's not an extravagant wedding. Monica wouldn't ask for that much, and Elwyn likely wouldn't want it to be that detailed as well. But you do get the impression of basically like wedding things set up at the chapel in the Cathedral of Vir, or in the Cathedral of Sarkava in Vir, where you guys are currently lodging. Secret
I
is
think it'd just be a pretty quick run through. You don't need to go into a lot of detail.
Secret is overseeing 2 different ceremonies this time around. He is congratulating Stefan and Monica. Like, you guys are Monica would likely extend the invitation to you guys and possibly Stefan as well. Like, it's not a secret.
Yeah, it's no secret. You guys are invited, but
Yeah.
you don't have to come if you don't feel like it.
Yep.
It's no big deal.
Yep,
You've
it's
put Pyre in
it's
a terrible position.
It's the next thing to what do you call it? Justice of the peace, because we're doing it quick because we want to, and we got the person we wanted to have here, so that's all we needed.
You put Pyre in a terrible position. I just have to explain this. He finds out about a wedding. It's probably right before he gets the invitation or anything. He feels insulted he wasn't invited. Then he gets invited. Then he doesn't want to go. But he'll go anyways because Stefan's there, and Stefan's been a good, solid companion. So this is like the guy who normally is impassive about things. He'll sit in the little pews or wherever the audience is, standing in the back. He looks uncomfortable as hell. Has a suit that doesn't fit him right.
the pews are probably
just-
are probably intended for like actual human size, so it might just be a little bit too small for you.
A little bit hot
Exactly,
water on the
exactly.
ankles and
Yeah. So you have a very like upset looking dragonoid who's just quietly supporting you.
And the camera does pan around to everyone else. Like, what does, like, if you're doing anything special or if you want to narrate yourself, you can feel free to chime in. Don't feel pressured to.
I look around and I whisper to Monica, if you throw your bouquet, see if you can hit fire with it.
Okay.
You didn't
Plug
hear
in
that.
his facts and
know-
logic.
That's a thing now.
Hmm. Coco the parrot goads her on and says, "It'll make for good research." and she clumsily throws the bouquet up in the air. It's flying right at you, Pyre.
Strangely enough, it just sort of seems to fly straight at Fire. It drops in his lap. Just like something caught it and dropped it there.
Yep, it falls right at Pyre's lap, and Monica pulls out her notebook and goes, "Ooh, does that mean he's getting married next?"
I never know. It could be. That's the tradition.
Mouth like a fish, completely flabbergasted. He wasn't even trying to catch it. Monica just slides it between his claws perfectly with that throw. Just excellent. Could not be
It looked like it
thrown
was
better.
going over your head, but suddenly it sort of dropped.
Yep.
That nat 20 softball drop
Yeah.
has the backspin. Pyre just mouth open, closes, growls, and then realizes he's grabbed it, and it would be rude to put it down. But a woman gave it to him. But he's at a wedding. But this is for Stefan. But and you just see like the little
He's
wheels
just
going in
lucky his
Pyre's
little
head.
friend isn't along.
Secret, for a moment, drops everything, and he furiously continues shipping you and the female gnome. Because he had been doing
Is
that.
gnome
It
there?
was his mess. It was his mission. Is the gnome there? You know what?
Chances are
And-
50-50. Make a roll for it.
This is the Church of Sirkava. He's all about good fortune and luck. She just so happens to be there. She just so happens to be there as you've got the bouquet in your hands, and Secret is trying to furiously ship you.
I am glaring daggers at Secret, and not even looking at the gnome. I'll growl, not a word.
He's got the biggest shit-eating grin you have ever seen, and that's saying a lot because he gives you a lot of shit-eating grins.
This is why Pyre hates weddings. Who else is or is not at the wedding?
I wouldn't even have been around for him to ask about it, to be completely honest. So I'm definitely not there. Maybe like if I was able to like, I'd be shadowing the group, so I guess I might see them on like leaving for something. I might shadow them to it, but I'm not gonna join in.
Batman style on a faraway roof.
Basically, I don't listen. You don't wear all black to a wedding. It's not necessarily cohesive to the frickin' environment. All right, so we're doing Batman style.
Awkward
so you see
silence
Pyre
from
get-
Ash as he stands in the corner, dressed all in his black cloak.
Is Zorg there?
No. Zorg had to do something really quick. So
I
he's
missed
not-
that. I apologize.
No, he DM'd me.
So Pyre is just at a loss. He is such at a loss. He doesn't put the flowers down though. It's free. It's technically an honor. Doesn't mean he has to appreciate it.
As you know, the vegetarians, so we won't eat them.
I would eat those flowers to get rid of them if I had a choice. Damn the consequences for my digestive tract.
And then you find out that the bouquet was made by Ash later.
Is there cake?
It was very quick and modest, so I probably say no.
There is a cake. I will
minimal.
spend whatever money is needed for the cake.
Okay, all right. There's suddenly
It's
a cake.
just like there's
yes.
two guys like bringing in a cake. It's not even a wedding cake. It's like happy birthday or something on it.
last minute had it, and it, happy, and then birthday's got us a line through it. Wedding.
The like Mel figure is like slightly above the female figure, and you can like see that her little like doll on top of the cake has been like pushed down into the cake to make her shorter.
Yeah. And for reception, we'll go to the local tavern.
Yeah, they lead you. So, well, I might as well also quickly mention that when they put rings on each other's fingers, you do notice the ring for Monica. It definitely looks it looks very special and ornate. It's a bright and vibrant red color. Bright and vibrant red color with little, like, gems inside of it. And the ring for Stefan has this big, almost prismatic little gem at the center of it.
Pyre will make note as he likes crafting.
Yep. I mean, as you take a look at it, it seems to just keep shifting colors the longer you stare at it.
I will try not to stare at it too long. I have been corrected. Must not. The colors. Ah!
In this same reception, Secret also welcomes Stefan into the Church of Sirkava. You guys do go to the reception, which is just the nearest local bar. And while you guys are busy having your breakfast and getting through some of your drinks, Secret tells all of you that he received a vision and he's going to be going to Wiganchi post haste. He's going to be entrusting the lightning shards to, well, as many of the lightning shards he has to the rest of the party. He doesn't give one to Quelkek, because I believe you only have 4 shards among you, and he's giving it to the members who've been in the group the longest. He's also going to acknowledge that technically, your agreement with Sirkava was only to get the lightning shards. So, you do not really have an obligation to move on to Wiganchi, though he would appreciate it. He would appreciate any gesture of support, or like if you want to go to Wiganchi, but it's not a requirement. Just
What is he asking for support?
in this case, I would be making assumptions just based off of your previous discussions. He'd likely want you guys to physically be over there to try to either in the case of Pyre, possibly arriving there as the son of innovation. He might have always called you son of Zygon. I don't remember. You might have been the only one who called yourself son of innovation.
Yeah, he really was. Guy drops God's names way too easily.
Yeah.
So he wants me to travel to a different land with him.
Essentially, yes. Or, well, more so follow behind him, because he's going to be going there now and leaving you guys to finish the Lightning Shard's job here.
I will give him a tight-lipped smile and tell him that I have family concerns that are keeping me here. I'll look down to the flower banquet and back to him, throwing his words back at him.
Gives you a mischievous smile. He doesn't even need to say anything, and you already know what he wants to say.
I will control myself by imagining bludgeoning Skolin with a bouquet of flowers.
All right. But that is basically what Secret is going to be doing. He also says that he'll be able to keep contact with the group through Stefan, who's now officially part of the Church of Sirkava. He officially has a brand.
Okay.
You may call me Herald of
Yes.
Sirkava if you wish, but don't do it too much. Just call me Stefan. You can
Harold
call
is a
me
colloquial
Herald
name.
inside the Church of Sirkava, but you can just call me Stefan otherwise.
And
How about codename Harold? Not the Herald, just Harold.
Oh, yeah, Harold, yeah, right. Well, I may be getting words either from Secret or maybe even Sirkava. I don't know.
perhaps.
I've agreed to accept it. I've taken on the mark.
Stefan, why isn't
You know.
Quelkek here?
He probably's out eating finger food or something.
Stefan, Quelkek is like, he's the
No,
only one
no,
with a
no,
moral
that's not,
compass.
Quelkek isn't the finger food eater. I don't know.
No, he isn't.
I don't know what the hell he does or where he is.
I don't know either. Stefan, I don't know anyone in this group. I'll like grab him by the shoulders. Two big meaty hands. I don't know you. Why did you get a breeding partner?
Because we're in love.
All right, I think we're gonna need to cut him off the drinking.
Besides, Pyre, you caught the corsage. That's a sign.
Stefan, if you value your head on your shoulders, you should consider your next words carefully. I would not want to ruin your
Oh,
ceremonial
I
day.
wouldn't bring up that little thing.
And like you can
And
see
I-
a
and I
vein.
Reach
It
up
has
and I
scales,
pat him
but you
on
can
the
still see
shoulder
the
and say-
vein under the scales throbbing as you say little.
I just pat you on the shoulder. Don't worry. Everything will work out. You'll be happy. I mean, you know Zork and Ash.
And with a drink in my hand, I come up and ask,
on, hold
"So
on,
who's
hold
the
on."
special lady?"
Since you've actually got a decent mic and I boosted you up to 100, can you speak again? Because I just need to lower you down a little bit. I had you at 200, now I've got you at 68%.
God damn.
Yeah. How we
Computer
doing?
People screwed with me bad. I don't
Okay,
even
I
have
think
my
we're fine.
own name up there anymore. I got my online name. What the hell's
Oh
going
yeah,
on?
because I don't know. There was a weird thing. Somehow Stefan got either kicked out of the group or left the group. I don't know what happened. But he was out of the group for some reason, so I had to re-invite him. So it's just reset.
Oh, it
Reset
everything.
his part of things.
I
Yes.
mean, when I first logged on, I had, all those the what do you call it, sitting down there, the pictures and everything. Had to
Oh, yeah.
cut it down back down to names, and my name wasn't even there. I just noticed. Yeah. Makes you wonder some days. Wonder what else. It's not just what you did. I mean, I've been having crazy stuff every time something updates. Usually it's something to do with my sound system. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Roll 20 can be a little bit wonky at times. Alright. And one more
Anyway.
thing.
we've got that Quill Kick, did you call him? We've got him
Yeah, the
around
insect, the
to
raider.
maybe, the bug boy. We got him around to maybe help out a little bit. I don't know where the hell he is. I don't know if anybody saw him to invite him, but that's okay.
Well, yes,
He seems to kind of
yesterday's.
hang out and do what he wants anyway.
Yeah, but he's the only one who's soft. Why wouldn't he come to a wedding? I bought cake for you.
That's okay.
Is that a meat cake?
Everybody
No.
gets cake. Except you, Ash. You get lady fingers.
Yum. Crunchy.
We ordered a special tiramisu for you that's made out of lady fingers. It's really a cake.
My
Hey,
favorite.
Ash, I heard if you go to a district downtown, you can buy fingers for 100 gold a pop.
Oh, it's easier just to collect them yourself.
Yeah, but this way it's consensual. You know, just
People
talk to the
do.
right
I
bakers.
don't think anybody's ever objected when Ash has collected fingers. It's usually
I haven't heard
bad.
anyone complain.
Of course, they usually did. So
Let's get off the subject of fingering the marriage.
got better things to do.
At this point, I did remember one thing that he wanted to make very clear to the party, which is that he does make some of the conversation he had with Sir Kava public, which was you're going to get a warning that if you do ascend with these lightning shards, it's very likely that the gods are going to use you as an experiment, and you possibly would lose your identity and freedom. So if you want to be a tool of the gods, then you can ask for the ascension. So he does give you the big warning.
Mm-hmm. Well, we keep
Secret.
these things separated. There won't be anything to worry about.
Speaking of, any of you... Let's see. So, I think Stefan is the only one who hasn't touched a lightning shard yet. So roll a 1d20 for me, please.
Roll a normal d20.
Yep, a 1d20. We have done this with everyone else thus far. We have not done it with Quelkek yet, because he has not touched one. You are safe. You are fine. You feel filled with lightning energy, and feel a little bit more powerful. If you want to try pulling lightning shenanigans like you saw Pyre doing, and like you saw Secret doing, then you might be able to perform some of it. So just keep that in mind.
Interesting.
All right. That's that. Unless there's anything else you guys want to do with the whole wedding event, we'll move on to the next one.
I will say
So-
that the one thing as an observer of the situation, I know that's probably, I'm just being cautious here, but is there anything suspicious that's going on? This is a collection of people that have at least been known in some higher tiers, interacted with higher tiers in some ways that may have rubbed people off the wrong way. So I just want to know, is there any shenanigans going on guest wise, things people kind of just lurking like I am in the distance, sort of overwatching this? If not, then that's fine, but I think that's the only thing I can really do right now.
I mean, one of those suspicious people does walk right up to you. He seems to be from the House of Veer, but other than that, you notice that they're having like a little bit of a rowdy little wedding reception in there, and you notice that it's just completely silent. You don't hear anything.
Anyway,
Ah.
during the reception, after a couple of drinks, I reach into a pouch and I pull out a whole bunch of deeds to properties, and I say, "No longer will I sell properties. My father wants property sold. He can send his eldest son out to do the damn work for him." And I pull out and I put a fire on top of it and watch them burn. Set them on one of those pewter plates and just watch them all burn. And
My.
smile.
How many tens of thousands of gold did you just burn up there? That's
It
Elwyn
doesn't
talking.
matter. I don't want that in life anymore. I'm not going to be his lackey and whipping boy. I choose a different life.
Well, I hope your pyromania does have its limits. And she gives you a gentle smile.
Anyway,
I need some clarification on the no sound thing. Am I talking like I'm on a building right now? You say someone walked up to me? Like, where is this wedding taking place? Is there like a building around that I could be
So-
observing from, or?
So they left the Cathedral of Surkava and went to a local bar. Basically, you could see them.
Oh.
You could hear the door opening and closing, but now it's completely silent. Like, you don't even hear when someone opens the door. You don't even hear the bell ringing. Like, it's just completely silent.
Do I hear the things? Okay, very important. Do I hear anything like the sounds of people around me? Because then it's going
Yes.
to tell me where that's centered. Okay, can I hear anyone like talking? Like, is there people that go through the door talking and like they're talking, and then boom, their still mouth is moving, but no sound is coming out?
Okay, so this is in the morning. This is during the Festival of Prosperity, and you're close to the commercial district. So unfortunately, roll a perception roll. Let's see how good your perception is with the morning buzz.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say. I just want to make sure that I'm doing my job. My one job, known as scouting. If Roll20 would load my page. Anytime now. I have like 8 dice next to me. My goodness. In a bag. Wow.
It's not enough.
No, I have more dice. I'm a dice goblin. I have like 250 or something.
'Tis the DM's curse.
Yep.
I got a great big bag full of dice. I don't know why anymore. The last time I ran a tabletop game was before COVID.
Oh boy.
Gotta
That terrible word.
Gotta have dice
Yeah.
ready for everyone. If anyone forgets their dice, you need to be
That's what I
prepared.
did. I
Yeah.
had about 6 or 8 separate sets for them.
Yep.
Yep, I
Still
do
in
the same
little
thing too.
plastic boxes.
Well, that's really
I
nice.
can remember a couple of guys showing up without dice, and I'd pull out about 4 sets, and they'd be arguing about wanting the same one.
Oh my gosh. That's so. It's like they can't all have the same
I
color,
wanted
all
that
right?
one first.
Oh my gosh.
Here, roll off for it. We'll do this the D&D way.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
yes, there it is. Nice. So what do I get
Way
from
to
that?
do it.
Yeah, it is. Try to roll dice for everything in life now, but that's different.
It's an incredibly advanced spell, from what you could see. It seems to be shaped.
Oh, to the building. So basically,
Yes.
kind of skin tight to the building.
Seems like it, yes.
That's fun.
You make
And I don't get-
You make eye contact with Elwyn. You have no clue who she is, and you probably have absolutely no idea what an Ashen Veil even is.
She can see me. I make eye contact with her.
Yeah.
She
She,
can see
you
you
see
out
her
of the
look.
front.
Whoa!
You see her look out, and you see her look out, and then you see her eyes just slowly drift up to your eyes, and
What?
she just kind of looks at you.
And not even a stealth check? Oh no, that's not
Mo-
good.
That's Monica's mother.
That's really bad, actually. Ah, man. Okay, well, I got to do something about this because I can't imagine that anyone who's going to do that has anything good in their minds, at least on me. Like, I get it about, like, maybe if you did it in the bedroom, like, at night. Maybe. But not now. It's just a party now. That's later. So right now we should probably deal with this. So I'm going. She already sees me, so there's no point in me like attempting to try to stealth. I am just going to walk on over. I mean, there's not much else I can do. You said that there's not as many people around here, so it's just a dark, shadowy figure walking across the street, completely normal. It's fine. But I am going to walk up to her because this is concerning, and she seems to be the only person that's like paying attention, right?
So,
Like I'm getting that she
inside-
is.
So
She's
she is
inside it.
inside. Yep, inside, looking out a
Mhm.
window, looking at you. Gives you a little bit of a curious look. She does watch you as you start walking up to the building.
Yeah, because I'm starting to realizing that I've lost my advantage here against the one person that actually cares, apparently. So I will walk up to the window and I will basically just take a moment to look through it and to do a test. I want to like kick a stone like near me, and I want to kick a stone into the field so I can hear it, my boot hitting it, and then it rattles on the ground, and as soon as it enters the field, it stops rattling even though it's moving, right?
Does exactly that, yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to go into the field, and I'm going to kick a stone out. Can I hear the stone while I'm in the field, and then does it stop when it goes out of the field? So like basically the reverse. Or can I hear
Okay.
can I still hear it as it goes
So-
out?
So from your experimentations, so it does have a field, so basically it is basically a hard stop. So you can hear from one side, basically on whichever half you're currently in, you can hear
So it's one
from
way.
that half.
So it's a one-way window basically.
It's more enclosed. It's an enclosed shell. So if you're outside, you can only hear
Oh.
things from the outside. If you're inside, you can only hear things from the inside.
Oh, well, that would meant that my scouting would be eyes only, and that's not very useful. So I'm going to have to be in here at least. But I'm going to remain outside so that I can shift myself. Wait, can I do it so that half of me is in the field and half is out so I can hear both sides?
Technically, you could. If
Okay, I'm
when-
going to do that.
Yeah, it
I'm gonna do
takes
that.
a little, like, it obviously takes probably something like 2 to 3 minutes as you're trying to find, like, that sweet spot. But you can find that middle ground where you can get both
It
worlds.
works until she looks out the window and moves her finger, and you suddenly find
And it
yourself in one
shifts.
area.
It's just by like 1
I
inch,
mean-
and I'm like, darn it.
Technically, she probably would do that, but she Stefan,
Stop
are you
giving the
anywhere?
DM ideas.
Stefan, are you anywhere near Elwyn?
Is she anywhere near us? Is what I.
Well,
We're
she's
just up
right
and
next to the
having a good
window
time
right
and-
now.
Yeah, probably not really.
Okay. You hear
She's
Coco.
decided to walk over and look out the window. Unless we just happen to glance over, we won't even notice.
Okay. You
We're
hear
having too good a
Coco.
time.
Coco the parrot speaks up and says, speaks up in Elwyn's voice and says, "Do you happen to know this unusual figure? This slightly pale demonic figure standing before me?" And if you look over, you can just see Quelkek, who's just kind of shimmying, trying to find that sweet spot between the sound barrier. But you don't even know a sound barrier is there, so he's just acting a little unusual.
I hate to admit it, but yes, he's been with us. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's got a dancing disease or something out there. Is there a band out there playing? He looks like he's dancing around.
No, no. I think, I think, I think he's kind of reminds me of a child who's found a new little toy. He's probably noticed the little privacy field I've left out there.
Oh, well,
I'm suspecting that I don't hear any of this through the wall because it's like glass and wood here. Okay, I just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
You can clearly hear, well, if you're looking in her vague direction, you can see her mouth move, but you can't pick up what she says.
I'm not making eye contact with her. I don't need her to know
I'm-
anything more than I'm here, okay? I don't need to be like, I know you know that I know. It's not one of those situations. We've already established we're both here.
I'm going to walk over to the window now that I've been shown where he is and what he's doing. And I'm going to wave and just wave like, come on in. Just, wave my arm like, come on in.
I see. I shift
Does
over
he
and I see
keep
like.
dancing or does he pay attention to that?
Well, at this point I have to because I have to try to put myself in a position where I can fully be within it to try to hear something that you're saying at this point. And now that I see that obviously I haven't succeeded in doing so, I am going to at least I'm gonna have to enter in. It's mostly just a fact of my cover's been blown. Might as well go inside. If anything happens, hopefully whoever the frick did this will deal with the situation then. I don't know. Just seems like a kind of a weird thing to do for I get the privacy thing. So I'm gonna go in and hopefully nothing bad happens outside.
Okay, okay. Well, that means I will retcon the agent who was going to walk right up to you and talk with you. So, I mean, it's still technically going to happen, but it's probably going to be with the rest of the party as well. I will remind you, Quelkek, that Mr. Veer did say that a Winston Berg, is currently available for questioning if you want to ask him anything. He's currently at the Wright estate right now. And if you wanted to ask him anything about his involvement in potential rebellious or occult activities, he is available for questioning.
Oh
Bird.
man, is the agent like? I'm not in the building yet. Do I see that the agent is like? I can't hear him anymore, but can I see that he's approaching? Do I recognize the symbology of like one of Veer's dudes?
He doesn't have any open symbols, but it does look like he's beginning to make his way into the bar.
Well, I'm gonna have to meet him first, mostly because I was expecting it, so I'm going to at least attempt to see whether or not that's for me. So I'm gonna just basically if he's entering the bar like after me, I'm just gonna mostly stay in the doorway, like not going in yet, just kind of like seeing what's happening inside, trying to get the whole layout of it. And so I'm probably still there by the time he comes in behind me, and I will just like turn around and kind of whisper, "Did Via send you?"
You stand in the bar entrance. A mug of ale comes floating over to you. And it sort of hovers in front of you with the handle out. And if you don't grab it, a voice says, "It's for you, stupid. Take it."
Is that
I
a
will-
general voice, or, well, okay, you're gonna pick it?
It's
You're
the
gonna pick it up?
same voice that Pyre kept hearing.
Hmm.
It's in common. And it just speaks to him. The voice does.
Alright, do you pick it up, Quelkek?
I will pick up the mug. In like a similar scene prior when I was offered something, this time I will take it, but I'll do something a little bit strange. You'll watch as I will cup the mug just underneath it with one hand while holding the side of it underneath the handle like you would kind of just like holding a mug. And you'll see bluish flames start to appear over it as I will like attempt to boil away the alcohol and inhale it. So essentially I'll just like go like basically I'll put it underneath my hood and I'll just allow the fumes to basically start going into the hood where they'll then basically, they won't see it, but it's just sort of getting dissipated into my form underneath because I can't actually. You get why.
Yeah.
I tapped
I'm doing it for a
on
reason.
The shoulder as this starts, and I said, "Watch this. This is interesting."
You taking notes, Ash? It looks like he's showing you the Thrycreen way of getting high.
No, we use different things for that. we had our own stuff for that. You know, the spleen of this thing mixed with a few cane rods from this river over here mixed together. Yeah, throw in a little sand just so that it can like clean your mandibles on the way down. It's good time over there. Great stuff. Put you up for hours at night. But no, this is not it. So I'll continue that until it's fully gone, and essentially whatever is left over that isn't able, it's probably just like sugar and stuff that isn't the water aspect of it. So I'm basically just taking steam in. Any of the stuff that's in there is not taken with it. So it's like a residue at the bottom.
Yeah, a little residue of hops and stuff.
As you're doing that, you do talk with the associate, and he says, Mr. Berg is currently available. If Mrs. Wright would like an answer soon enough as to whether or not your group would want to conduct any questioning. He's cooperating at the moment, so you don't need to be forceful at all. But if you decline any questioning, then we shall be going ahead. We will be making our own inquiries.
At what time is the decision to be made? I must inform them of this.
Before dusk.
What time is it in comparison to that?
It's pretty much morning, 7, 8 a.m.
Okay, gotcha. Very well. You will have your answer before then.
Very
Where
good.
is the Where should I post my response? Or will you find me?
All you need to do is just arrive at the right manner. They are expecting you if you decide you want to join. If you do not wish to join, then you need not show up at all.
Very well. I will take this into consideration and share it with the rest of the group here. Thank you.
And with that, he walks out of the bar into the back alleys and disappears.
Yeah, like a true stealthy boy. I'm so proud of him. As for my sake, as soon as I finish it, I will place it down on the nearest table, and basically I'm not going to try to ruin everyone's fun with an interrogation thing here. It's clear that it's at least as long as it doesn't go too long. But I'll definitely say like by about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'll probably bring it forward then, essentially, to the group, and particularly to Secret's doing his stuff. Who can I trust in this group with this information? Oh man, wow! Is there an adult in the room? Is there an adult in the room? Anyone that would be possibly able to explain this to the rest of them? And you know what? Would I know if any of these people even care about it? Like, I'll say it just because I said it, but I think I'm more interested than any of them. Would I know that just offhand if they had any interest in that whole investigation truly, or if it's just secret bringing them along. There's a big
That's-
difference there.
That's a good question. I do not have secrets. I do not have secrets intuition. So, players, you're going to have to tell. You're going to have to tell us what vibes you gave Secret, whether or not you actually care about investigating this revolution. I know Ash and Zorg were definitely invested, but I'm not sure about Stefan and Pyre how invested they were at this, because it might have been more of a means to an end.
I would say Pyre turning Ash and Zorg over immediately as leaders of the revolution showed his side on the revolution issue. Or maybe not turning over, but ratting out.
Stefan's got other things on his mind, and when you bring this thing up, if you're going to interrogate from what happened to him the other day at the city hall, that meeting where he fled like a baby screaming and hollering about the Phantom, if you tell him the Phantom knows what you think, you'd better come clean. I'll bet you he'll scream and howl like a little baby and just tell whatever he wants, whichever you want to know if you go to that interrogation. Personally, I smile over at Monica. We've got better things to do this evening.
The revolution, and this is for the DM here. So the revolution and this cult here, I wouldn't be aware of the event in the sewers, because no one even would have told me about that whole event. So I don't know about that. How much of the cult would I know about? And would I know, because you said that there's like a revolution and or a cult, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, have I heard anything about a cult at all? Because if it's a cult that's not necessarily evil, I don't really care about it, I'm gonna be honest. Unless I've heard specific rumblings of something nefarious.
I believe Secret probably would have briefed you on some of the cult shenanigans.
Okay.
He might have. I think we can probably. If he's. How much information would he trust you? Because he didn't trust you with a lightning shard. He trusted everyone else with their seniority with it, so.
That's kind of why I'm wondering how much he would have actually told me. Because I have my player knowledge, but I want to know how much Quelkek would actually know about those two. Because again, if he doesn't have enough of information, he can't even
I
go to
think-
this thing and even make an effective inquiry because he doesn't know what he's asking about. I mean, even this revolution thing is just like, revolution could talk about all the time. You know, like,
Yeah.
There's constantly poor people that are like, oh, we're going to start a revolution. It's like, okay, well, it's happened before.
Mhm.
So
An
I'd
easy way to
say-
end it too.
Well,
You
yeah,
throw about
exactly.
100 copper pieces out where they're gathering, and they all forget about revolution.
Yeah, so that's why I'm
Routinely,
not.
It works.
Well, that's why I'm not worried about the revolution. I'm more worried about the cult.
So the cult, I believe he would have informed you of the cult because they're basically your enemies. It's related to the whole instability that's going to be happening in Vir pretty soon. And although Secret has much more interest in the lightning shards themselves, he probably would have. I'm going to say he probably would have at least informed you of the cult's existence and why you should probably watch out for them. Probably give you warnings about what they are and what they do.
Okay, so it's like clarification. Like, did they tell me it's a death cult? It's a like the
It's
god of
more
the
than
cult.
likely. It's more than likely a cult related to Solemn, the god of magic and souls. He's more than likely trying to stir unrest in Vir and trying to get some sort of revolution to happen. They've already made some moves. They've also planted mind flayers in the sewers. Probably give you the briefing of some of the things that have happened in the party pretty much anything directly Solemn related,
Oh.
he probably would have given you some information about it.
Oh no. That's not good. Okay, that's actually really bad. If so, so with Quokek, mind flayers are a big no. They are bad news. Mind flayer thing, that's a kind of a low blow there to actually utilize them. And utilize is an interesting term too, because it's not a it's not an agreement. I mean, it could be, but highly doubtful, especially considering that's a mind flayer mind there. That in the sewers. That's not good. But it's a huge undertaking. I'm gonna leave this for them actually, I think. I feel like their investigation will be more helpful. Yes. Did we tell them about the mind flares? Please tell me that we actually like
Yeah, I mean, that
He-
would
they
have
told-
been relayed to the Plague Doctor, which was the House of Right agent, and he would
Mhm.
know everything about your debriefing of the situation.
Okay, so I don't have to go to Veer for that, like, hey, you have mind flares
would've
in your
heard it.
toilets.
He would have heard that from
Okay.
Miss Wright. From
Ah,
the sounds
man.
of it, he seems to have implied it.
Okay, I'm not going to worry about it, actually. I think I'm just going to skip it. I will extend it outwards to the rest of the party at noon, but other than that, I'm not going to go myself. It's too large of a task to try to compete with people who can control mind flayers, or at least utilize them. That's a scary one. So I
Cult
think
of
I'm...
Solemn, it's a big organization. It's kind of like a big umbrella, you could say, that could have many different types of factions and sub-factions. This could be officially sanctioned by the main division of the Cult of Solemn, or this could be a sub-faction. You don't
Alright.
precisely know.
No, but unfortunately, either way, it's not necessarily. I mean, even from an onlook, if you're starting to mess around, they can just wave the flag of, "Hey, we're part of this. You know, we're part of this group. If you mess with us, you mess with that." And it's like, well, if they control the flow of information, yeah, because we're gonna look like the bad guys. So I'm gonna let the big organizations deal with this, but I will tell Zorg and Ash about it, or basically the rest of the group say like, hey, listen, this is an availability. I'm not gonna go though. So, but yeah, that's at noon. So I'm gonna let everyone enjoy their morning though. Stefan would have heard it because he's basically at the door, and he probably would have overheard it from me and the agent. So
Yeah, I would have told you.
so I'm not gonna.
I was running like a baby from something in the.
I did. I'm gonna choose to ignore that because it is not relevant to me as because
Well, if you were going to the inquiry.
Oh yeah, well, that would be helpful.
Something to threaten him with.
It would be. Maybe I'll make a mention of that though. Maybe not for myself, but that is true. I'll make a mention of
Mention it
what.
to the agent that came in. That would be something to be sort of
Oh, that is true.
something to wedge his mind in the right direction. 'Cause he seemed pretty damn scared of something there.
No, good point. Maybe I'll take maybe a visit and just kind of throw that out there later. Probably around noon. After I tell him, I'll just travel over to the manor and just give him that piece of information. So let them chew on it. I have no way of like backing it up to be like, yeah, this is going to be effective, but
It might.
I think that they might take it in consideration. So good point. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of passively, so I don't think it requires much.
Anything that would scare him a little bit might make him open his mouth.
Stefan, you're a little bit muffled. Could you adjust
Oh,
your
I'm
mic?
sorry.
There.
Sometimes I forget and I have my mic turned away from me. Let me get it where it's a little closer and facing my direction. Sorry.
All right.
I have
Okay.
a freestanding mic. If I turn away from it a little bit, it doesn't follow me.
But you have been briefed on that situation. We'll deal with the hunt after this, but so we do have some views, but who's actually going to go? Who's actually interested in wanting to question Winston Berg about anything related to the cult or the revolution? Okay, that's a lot of crickets. All right.
Yep.
Sorry. Nope, not interested. It's.
Hurry, but I
Fire
have a
is
different
fire.
activity planned for this evening.
I believe we're going hunting.
It sounds like Stefan wants his honeymoon, so I think we'll have to delay that one more day.
I already knew that. I'm not even.
Okay.
I haven't even done my preliminary scouting, guys. What?
No, you.
Like, I know I'm not.
You
I mean, I've done it, but
Yeah, you do want to just notify them, but after that. So, Ash, last one is you. If considering that none of the other parties going to be doing that, this would be something that I would be telling you in solo. If you wanted to go to this interrogation, if you have any investment in it. Is your mic plugged in, buddy? Are you muted?
Are you on a potty break?
Ash? You awake, buddy?
Make sure you don't step in the do.
oh gosh.
You fall asleep?
Yeah, I've been up early, real early today.
That is the.
Okay.
That is
so
the sound of-
basically what you missed was so the rest of the party is going to pass on this, but
We got a real dead spot.
Don't worry about me. I'm just floating through the astral plane right now, real slowly. I'm starting to.
I was wondering if my computer disconnected for a second.
No.
Yeah, I was wondering too, but I'm fairly sure we took a break and we just haven't ended it yet.
Okay.
See how Jorah's not at his... Oh, there he comes. See? Movement.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that.
Dramatic pause.
Sorry. Okay. All right. So we're going to skip that. All right. So. All right, Quelkek, you have the floor with your hunt, so you can pitch that to the party. You can pitch that to them tonight, and then we'll just assume that the rest of the evening is just spent on whatever you guys want. This is a break day, and then we'll move on to the next day.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So I guess I really do have to just do the list.
Yep, you've got the floor.
All right.
now.
So I'm gonna wait until because everyone's drunk. I'm first off, I don't think I've ever seen Pyre in this situation before. Have I? No.
No.
Probably not.
It's like Pyre's drinking a little bit. He's nursing his
man.
can. Someone goes over to his table to greet him. And they're like, hey, like, why are you here? He's like, I don't really want to talk to anyone. Well, we're at a party. Isn't that the reason to talk to people? And he looks at them and he says, I'm going to be honest. That sounds just awful.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Well, I'm not gonna worry about him right now. The rest of
the little gnome comes over. That's
Oh.
the question.
Oh, listen. Oh, I'll deal with that later. Don't worry. we're about to foster that. Because it's the only freaking soft point that Pyre has right now that I have to try to get through. We're gonna deal with that later. The other two, Zorg and Ash, how they doing? Not as the players, but as the characters. Are they just drinking their hearts away? Because I do not want to give this information when they're inebriated.
Okay, that's an answer that both of you will have to give yourselves, so unmute yourselves and give the answer. Assuming that Zorg is back.
I think Ash witnessing a wedding, Ash wouldn't be in his feelings like that. Normally I'm always making jokes about what's a family or all that, but seeing a ceremony among friends, he's steadily sipping. He's not drunk yet.
And
Taking his time about getting there.
Yeah, the happy couple, I assume, is just going away at it.
Oh, we're not drinking that heavy. We're just being happy and
Oh,
sipping a little bit here and there. And
Monica's actually just drinking, some juice. She's not drinking any alcohol.
really? Oh boy. All right, cool.
Yep. She's consciously not making the decision to drink.
You know what? Good for her. Good for her. Nice decision
Yeah.
early in life.
Mhm.
Early in life in quotations. So, well, I don't know. Am I getting the feeling that people are open to this as a conversation piece? I don't
Oh.
really know, because it's kind of like a weird thing to just be like, all right, everyone shut up. This is a party, but I need to focus all on this table. I have something to tell you guys. Shut up and stop drinking. It's a very
If-
serious thing. Like, we are going to die. This may kill you. Here's another drink. Kind of a
I-
weird thing to bring up.
Might as well
Would
do it.
argue you have the social cue to know maybe you should tell us to meet you after the reception.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. Like, is it like so dead that
like we're
it's
not
like
going to
the
be doing this all day and night, you know.
Well, I don't know that. It's depend. Well, some I don't know. It's what I don't know the customs of your species. It could last for like 7 days or something. I don't know. Some of them
To be
last for
honest,
that
Pyre
long.
has an hour in him at most
Oh, okay.
for the
Well,
reception.
I You know what? I'll just do that. I'll let the mother in the party, who I don't know, but looks like an external adult force here, chaperone the kids, and I'll just let all you guys know to meet me. I'll say at a specific. I will say. Oh, but then I have to wait. If I do something later, then it has to be. Then I have to wait for the two married couple. Oh no. Well, you know what? I got their attention. Fine, whatever. I will ask people if they want to meet now to discuss plans. If the majority consensus is that no, we just want to enjoy our time here, then I will simply state for us to meet at like a town park or something. I want it to be like a natural, not like in an alleyway somewhere, you know, or a bar. I want it to just be like a place where it's kind of more calm, open space, that sort of thing, or like a plaza somewhere.
Okay.
So that's my game plan here. So I'm gonna go to each one of you. I'll just kind of say generally, Quelkek approaches each one of you guys, or if you guys are sitting together as group, and I will just sort of ask everyone, hey, do you want to meet now to plan out the hunt at the party, or do you want to meet later at such and such a park? I'll let you figure that out, DM, where that park is. But I'll at least name it by name.
Alright. Okay. Well, rest of the party. Today or tomorrow? And that's basically the choice it boils down to.
Well, like now or later today or tomorrow, I guess. 3 choices. That's we.
Yeah, effectively, yes. Alright, you guys are going to enjoy? Okay. Go.
I think the answer is I would rather meet today, but if we want to pass time aggressively, I have no issue with that. Does anyone have any actual opinions? We're meeting today. It's gonna be lunch.
What are we bringing?
Chicken.
Hey, what else?
You like bones, right? Bring chicken.
I love it.
I didn't discuss bringing donuts, but if people want to bring into the meeting, sure, fine, why not?
You can bring donuts for the herbivores.
Okay, so Stefan, you got something? I'm just trying to get a majority here, and if it's looking like it's just going to be lunch.
Whatever you guys want to do, just decide.
Oh boy.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Oh man, you're so indecisive. I blame it on the alcohol. All right, we do it over lunch. Screw it, we do it live. We do it for lunch.
Alright.
Immediately after
so,
party. My goodness.
Zorg, are you back from your thing? Nope, he's still busy. Well, we got 3 out of 5, so we'll just assume that Zorg's probably going to be there as well.
I think he's out by majority at this point.
Yeah.
So. Alright. So go ahead and describe it all.
Okay, did understand. He could have gone by himself. He would have been a majority of 1 and voted it on.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Not the point, though. Darn it, it's like herding squirrels.
Trying.
Alright,
Oh.
so everyone's here. We've gone through our party, right? Okay.
Yes.
Lunchtime comes around. We're gonna grab lunch at the bar. The guy's probably happy about it, just to have more people pay for stuff at his bar. You know, despite the fact that no one can hear what's happening at his bar, and people are probably wondering, like, why can I not hear all those people inside of that place? And it's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. He's making money. So I will bring out all of the scraps of paper that I've collected. Some of it is simply scraps that I've found from word of mouth that I've written down. Others are pamphlets that have been taken out to the various monsters. And some are basically it ranges from word of mouth notes all the way up to official wanted posters for these monsters. And so I'll take out all of these scraps of paper and I will lay them down on a table after clearing away all the alcohol, wiping down anything that's spilled on it, and essentially moving away most of the chairs so that it's able to be kind of like freely accessed by everyone at this point. And so I will have all these things on the ground here, and what I'll do during, or like as they're looking at this, if I have everyone's attention, I will use prestidigitation to can I create a small image, or is that illusion? I don't know if I can.
I'll just allow it. Even if you don't have a spell for it, I'll just allow it for this moment. You could probably also just use your basic Thri-kreen telepathy to probably try to project an image.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I was basically trying to... Oh, you can create a non-magic trinket or an illusionary image that can fit in your hand. Yeah, so I'm just like making small little holograms of my best impression of what it is based on descriptions or the picture itself that's been printed on the page. And so you'll see in the following order here, you can see that there's first just like I describe it as a wolf that is that's like melting, that its flesh seems to be bubbling, covered in eyes with like random various appendages, almost like clawed hands sticking out of its back, and it has just basically, it looks like its flesh is oozing off of its body right now, and its head isn't quite right. It has essentially just like the face of like half a wolf, and the other one is just like some other animal, like a bear. Basically, I'm trying to make it look like an abomination, something that is beyond alien, beyond the passage of normal human comprehension. The next one, it will be basically just a wolf, just a really large wolf. I'll make it kind of scary, and then I'll put the mark of Geneth on its head in the illusion. And so that will be that one. Then I will have just basically like a sea turtle, but I'll give it like fangs and stuff, if there's no exact description of it. And then I'll like cover it in like gemstones in its back, like all of it's being embedded with it, and its eyes are also gemstones. And then the next one will be I think if this is an actual species, a sunlight lizard. So they would, if anyone would recognize that as an actual species, I will project that as just like the baseline thing based on the description. So it's basically just a giant lizard. I would imagine like maybe like an iguanodon that has a bunch of crystals all over its back along its spine. And then the last one is just like a giant mud crab that I have that's like standing up with these huge pincers, and I have it so that there's like weapons stuck in it, and you can tell by the scale of the weapons that the crab is huge, because it's like a sword that a human would have, and it looks like a toothpick inside in its shell right now. And then on it, I give the mark of Aqua and Sanguine in various like kind of like runes across its back. And so these 5 are the things I present in front as the targets. I don't necessarily speak. I just lay that. I kind of like set things up on a table that no one's using, set these aside, and kind of just project these so that people can see them.
So what I posted in game is basically the brief summary of everything, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll then cross my arms and kind of watch as if I'm getting people's attention. These are the targets that I have ascertained from local knowledge and guilds. I'm not going to lie and state that any of these would be easy marks, but I believe that they are at least feasible given our current strength. Should we go as a group, individual, most likely you would perish, but that is not the task of a hunting party. This beast must be brought down as a group, a joint trophy. The choice is yours, though. I have my preferences given my abilities, but I am curious. Given such choices, And despite these renditions not being entirely accurate, I am only hearing description. They may possess abilities I am not showing, but which one would you hunt? Given your unique attributes.
If you wanted to ask about any one of them, actually, you are doing this at the bar, so the barkeep could give you more information about what he's heard about these creatures as well.
That is a good point. I'll keep that in mind, but it'll be a secondary thing, and I just want to see. Visuals are important for people. It's an immediate sort of like no or yes. And then there's a bunch of stuff that people start thinking about, so that's why I pose this question here to everyone. And I'm being like dead serious. My tone is like, this is a question. This is what's being here. If you agreed to it, this is what you're getting.
I'm kind of interested on what we can make with the ingredients of whatever we slay.
Pyre's eyes light up when he sees the kind of like sun fire lizard challenge family.
So it's a sunlight lizard with light crystals growing on its back. It eats. I wouldn't tell you about that. Possibly bears the light of mark of lumen. Sorry, lumen. So I would have probably put that on its flank somewhere, and kind of like a hazy, but kind of still there.
Straight up ponytail. Sorry, My Little Pony stamp.
That's kind of what I was
so
thinking, but
Pyre like clicks a claw on that one. You have that, but he clicks the claw where it was on the table, and he's like, this one, the sun fire lizard with crystals, I think would be interesting. You like grinding crystals, don't you, Ash?
It does have
I
an
like
official
collecting
bounty
shiny
poster.
things.
What about shiny things that go boom?
That makes it even better. As I look at it and observe it, I'm like,
The barkeep says, the sunbeam lizard. Right. If I recall correctly, the bounty says, preferably you don't kill it, but it's not the end of the world if you do. Sunbeam lizards are known for hunting, well, being guardians of humanity, hunting various demonic things or other oddities so that we common people don't need to deal with them. But they do have some pretty valuable crystals on the back that we can use for our own ends, for our own demon hunting measures, as well as repelling undead and other knickknacks. Those crystals have been known to ward off undead on occasion. Most of the time, Lumen himself creates more sunbeam lizards every single year, since they either die in the line of duty or they get hunted. Though, with the whole Pantheon separation, who knows how many more sunbeam lizards we'll be getting.
the reaction is correct from what I have observed and heard. This target is not one that I would prefer for the purposes of extermination. I see it as far more of a kindred spirit. Yet,
Even better.
Yet at the same time, I would find myself at a disadvantage against it for reasons not necessarily required here. an interesting point. That one would take that one over the others. But with that in mind, and its mannerisms given out, let me expand on the others then, in the same way. The Abomination. Currently, exterminate or scare away. They want it gone. The Wolf, the same. Though, should we find it and be able to kill it, that'd be preferable over it even escaping. This creature, the turtle, I would prefer not to. It is a gentle creature, and I do not wish to hunt it. The same is with the lizard, though that is far more of a. It is an ally. I do not wish to stop it in its task. The last one, the crab. This one is the far more dangerous one, and one that may be a local threat. Extermination is required for it, though it poses the potential most hazardous, considering both its size and its abilities that I've heard. Though I would find it fascinating if it would continue to regenerate a portion of its limbs, and whether or not Ash would find it to be a infinite food source to a certain extent. Should it be, well, detained.
All I'm hearing is free crab legs.
It's not a bad idea. It's just, I don't know. Never really gone hunting before, I'll be honest.
I would suspect not for many of you, save for Ash. But I am simply the pack leader at this point. I wish.
am interested in that giant crab, but it having the mark of Aqua and Sanguine, does that cause any PTSD for old Ash?
I mean, do you have a PTSD of rainstorms, of heavy downpour rainstorms due to the flooding of Mimosa? Because it might.
I kind of go back to whether or not he would be cowering underneath the deck during the storm on the lake, though, the sea.
That is a good point.
I was about to say, like, if we're gonna do that now, we might have to go back and be like, well, hey, it was kind of doing worse then.
So, Ash, describe to us your PTSD. Exactly what are its depths? Show us how traumatized you are.
Well, if we're trying to go back, I think I did well at sea, but at the same time I was under deck till we did get an action. I'm just because the mark of Aqua and Sanguine, like, I wonder how much it might remind me of whatever powers I saw, from my destruction of my home planet, or homeland, not planet.
And does seeing the mark make you angry? Do you want to destroy anything bearing that mark and exterminate it? Do thunderstorms make you cower in fear?
It wouldn't make me angry, but it would definitely the mark would cause Ash to walk a little more cautiously, because I've already seen that type of destructive power. I think with like lizard folk mythos, it was like we don't really know fear, but we are keen on survival.
Do you hold grudges?
Hmm. I think with the interactions that we've had so far, I don't think Ash has held a grudge. So, no.
Okay. Alright, so it's more caution rather than hate. Okay.
The point of what I speak of is rather that I find 3 of the targets to be far more palatable than the other 2.
Well, it's
One
not
in-
my hunt.
Oh, it shall become yours. And surely the choices here matter for the purposes that... Why would you choose this one? Those that have spoken. The initial one, the lizard.
Kinship after a sort. I suppose I'm interested to see what it does. Its god symbol is closer to what I am familiar with. As I said, not necessarily a reason. You just want to kill it, don't you? Well, capture in this case, but still.
Ash, what is your reason? I have persuaded you somewhat to the 5th target, and yet I sense hesitation.
I'm curious about the lizard because, of course, as Pyre speaks as well, like the kinship, I am a lizard folk, and it seems pretty cool and majestic, and I'm interested what the gems can do. But with the crabs, with how the giant crab, with how it has weapons all over it, I'm just intrigued at if any of those weapons can be picked up and equipped by characters. And then you went ahead and said that it also might regenerate legs. I'm thinking if we can kill this thing, I'm not too interested in like all the meat that I could get out of it, but making armor and natural weapons out of it would be pretty cool.
Especially if you grow extra legs and eat them.
Yeah. Whenever I was seeing the list and I was seeing all the animals, I'm like, like I said, yeah. First thing that came into my brain was like, ooh, I wonder what I can make out of all the animals. And then we heard that we don't want to kill a few of them, so the only one that I can think of that I could eat is just the giant crab.
I mean, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
Stefan, today is
Ron,
your...
in case you didn't notice, isn't there.
Oh, we'll just say that this is in the future. In the future, he presents it when you're next available, just to get
Did
your
you-
input.
Okay.
Did we like... Oh, you left at noon?
Oh wait, this is before your honeymoon.
you-
Okay, so
Yeah, she left at... I'm having this at noon, buddy. You're still in here unless you decide to scoot out of there early. You're stuck with me.
No, not stuck with anybody. Can disappear in a minute.
Okay, but anyway,
But I
you're
will look
presented the
over
list
it, I
when
will
you're
sit, and
available.
I will pick up a die And
Roll a 6. Roll a 6 and that's nothing. All of the above.
I think that does that, doesn't it? 2.
Dude, the wolf. Okay. The wolf.
I just roll the die and say, that's my choice.
Okay. Ah, the wolf. It's an official test of strength from the goddess of strength herself.
That should appeal to Zord.
Zorg.
Mm.
A test of strength against strength.
Zorg would indeed enjoy that.
Maybe somebody zapping shit out of him with a spell here and there.
Yeah, so
I think, yeah.
the wolf, let's see. These beasts of Geneth are typically very agile and very aggressive. Typically, they will pay you back every single wound you inflict upon them, so they're very dangerous targets. The whole point is apparently to keep mortals on their toes so that they don't become complacent with peace. The Geneth does like displays of strength, so if you do manage to slay it, regardless of whether or not you want it, you'll likely attract Geneth's attention.
Would that be a good thing or a bad thing? Because with how you're talking about it and wording it, I don't know if I want that attention.
I mean, this is a test that she typically gives out. Normally it's something that you'd commonly see in Drenzis as an actual hunting expedition.
Okay, just me out of context here. We're questioning that one and not the sun lizard of the peaceful sun lizard of the dude Lumen. As it's listen, we're questioning her, but we're not going to question the freaking lizard that fights undead willingly and dies in the line of. That's the one we're not going to question about. We're going to question about the wolf here, the one that's literally a test here. Just so I'm clear on what the players are seeing. Just so I'm clear.
Exactly what's going on.
My goodness. Wow.
Hey, I'm down for
I mean,
anything
you
we
know-
can kill.
It's even worse because your description of it's like it's a kinship. Wait. So you're telling me like because it's a lizard, you want to kill it more? What does it tell? What does it tell me about your character? That it's just like, you know what? It's a lizard. That's like me saying to another bug creature, like, I don't like you because you're a bug. It's like you are a bug. It's like I know. It's ironic, isn't it? So Quellkick is all sorts of confused right now because he was like, this is going to be easy. They're going to go for this one. Now he's just like, you guys are a bunch of monsters. So that's good.
No, the things you brought out there are a bunch of monsters.
Oh, man. No,
They
I'm
just
sending.
can't make up their minds.
I know that you
Everybody
rolled
roll the dice and we'll
you
see
rolled-
what we go
No,
after.
everyone made their decisions already. I got 2 for the frickin' wolf. I'm going to break the tie on that one. Pyre has already admitted that it's basically just up to me. So, and besides, we'll just go for the wolf. My goodness, the 2 of you. All right.
I think we all should just roll dice for it, just like I did. And then
Oh no, let's don't. I'm gonna, if I see any more characters pull out dice, I'm just gonna be like, this is not the point. I'm gonna allow it on him because he's distracted right now and he just needs it.
And
That's
a little
another thing.
loaded.
I was about to say, like, Quellkeck's looking at you like, you know what? This is life or death. You could die off of this. And you're just being like,
Nah.
I'm going to
I ain't
pick
going in
something
this
random.
condition.
Go ahead with any sort of thing. Planning, strengths, doesn't matter. We're just going to roll the dice. We could go for the literal spawn of Cthulhu as the abomination, and we're going to be fine with that. So just so I have...
anything,
I'll
okay?
just forget my
Oh.
Cthulhu medallion. Be a worshiper if it goes bad.
Oh, yeah, don't throw your warlock stuff into this. All right, you know what? I've gotten my feel of everyone, and you guys are all... I think the only sane person out of this group is Zorg, just because he sees strength and strength. Right now, direct has been the most concise agreement here. So, I'm going with that. I like a strong opinion. We're going with the wolf. That's what I want to see. I want people in on this hunt, and that's
Well, that's what
Enough
I
for me.
said.
I
You're
know that.
criticizing me.
No,
I got the same result.
I'm criticizing you because you rolled for it. That's why. That's why Quokek is thinking
Yeah, but I got
poorly.
the same result.
I'm gonna. Okay, anyway. So, seeing that everyone has, like, there's a bit of a challenge between them, but there's been a stronger and more direct opinion towards the wolf, one that I find to be at least, if we can actually succeed in it, something that could possibly gain favor, which is something I was thinking about with it. At least to get maybe not a direct ally, but someone that's at least looking over, which may be not necessarily a bad thing. So I will basically, I've been kind of like refreshing the images with prestidigitation because it only lasts for a minute here. So I'm gonna, as soon as the other ones fall away, I will simply allow the wolf to stand. And I will reach over and collect the rest of the pages off of it and deposit them into an inner pocket of my cloak. The target has been chosen. We'll pursue this creature and exterminate it. I highly doubt that it will give us such a leniency
You're
as
welcome that
mercy.
I chose it for you.
You did bring about the noticement of Zorg here. Yes. Now, for the rest of you, I will provide what little details I have. I'll reach into a pocket that has, like, I've pre-written the same description of it. I have, like, packets wrapped in twine of each one of them made for everyone. And so I'll, like, rustle around and I'll see the one that's for the wolf and I'll bring out the packet and I'll hand it to each one of them. So it's like all the information I've been able to gather about its abilities, what it can do. So I'm basically saying, like, here's your information packet. Read it. So I will hand it out to everyone. One slip of paper to everyone. In order to hunt, you must understand your
I'll
prey.
look at it for a moment, and then I'll hand it to Monica and say, copy that in your book.
And she does exactly that. She was going to copy it anyways. You already know Monica.
Yeah.
Chances are you probably don't even get halfway done with the sentence and she's already marked half of it down.
Starting to donate copies, yeah. She's probably got a quickie picture drawn of it above that too, right? From the little image he made.
More than likely, because since this is a common creature introduced for a test of strength for Geneth, so it's actually got higher quality images compared to all of the other targets. The Sunbeam Lizard does have a pretty good noble illustrated image of it, but the wolf creature has a ton of different images of it.
Yeah.
It's a very common occurrence.
In all honesty, it probably should have been the lizard because you can get some good gems from it. But that's okay. The dice spoke.
Zorg wants to ride the wolf.
Oh no.
Zorg rides wolf. Zorg makes wolf his.
Look, I mean,
Just as a clarification, though, I do want to actually, just for complete reference, on a side note, Quokek is already going to go see the lizard by himself later. He was already, like, he heard about it, and he was like, I'm still going to present it, but I am going to go, because I want to see if I can try to pacify it, see if I can get some crystals off of it. Because I was able to talk to the whale, I might be able to do the same thing with it, so if I can try to convince it to, like, just, I don't know, do a favor for it or something, and scratch its back, I don't know, kill some undead with it. Or I get killed myself. I don't know. We'll see about it. But it is something I need. It's a natural source. Like, it fights undead. Ooh. Yes, please. I think I'll go see that by myself. So, just as a reference sake. But yes, the wolf has been chosen. So, I will, once everyone's taken the paper and I've seen everyone read through the description of what I've gathered of its abilities, I will simply take back the official slip of paper and roll it back up and put it into my cloak, and start like putting the chairs back around the table, just like they were prior. And I will also flip a gold coin over to the barkeep for the information, because I didn't ask him for that. He just started so I'm like, you know what? There you go, man. Thank you. I'll give him a gold coin for his assistance there. And so that's basically the end of the meeting. I'm going to worry about strategy once I actually get to the area, because I don't think I've had time to actually scout out the area that it's been stated to be in. Correct?
Okay.
I wouldn't have time.
You have not. And this might be
Okay.
one of the creatures that might be on the move. Do you want to scout with the whole party, or just
I
yourself?
would like to scout by myself for prior. I now have. It's a new day, so I'm going to cast. I'm gonna cast Find Familiar.
Unfamiliar. Okay, that's an hour
I'm gonna cast-
casting time, I think.
Yes, so I'm gonna do that, and so my familiar will appear as a small desert scarab beetle.
Okay.
So like maybe a little bit bigger, maybe like the size of like a. I don't know. How big can I actually make it?
Interesting.
No, if you're saying that your raven can eat it, it can't. It's a frickin' beetle. Don't even. I know what you're doing over there. Don't think about it. Good luck with that. Anyway, that's what I like how I already knew what you were saying. Like, I have a bird. It's like, yeah, you do. It's not gonna help. All right. Anyway,
You
yeah.
just
So
don't
I
know.
yeah, scarab beetle. That's what I want. I'll have some designs across. I don't know if I can do that. I'll just have some like runes from home on the back of it to give it its name. But that will be my my familiar.
All right. The rest of you can type in chat what you're going to be doing in preparation for this hunt. You can either try to gather more information, since Quelkek's going to be personally taking care of the scouting. You can try to prep in whatever way you can, whether it's searching things up religiously, academically, figuring things out about the Mark of Geneth itself, figuring things out about, say, culture or customs. You can investigate in any direction you want, and I'll just figure out what skill or whatever thing to attach to it.
Okay.
Or if you want to, say, just prep some items or see if you can procure anything, that's fine too. Alright.
Hate to say it, but Pyre's working on a schedule, so his focus is going to be on his armor.
I mean, at this point, I'd probably say that today is probably the day that it's fully finished and you have the full 18 armor. And what was the other benefit? It's been such a long
I
time.
will
that
have
I've
to
got-
double check. It's been so long.
Yes.
I think it is mainly just as upgrading it to plate mail.
Yeah, plate mail. On top of that, you are also going to get the special. That's your special feature as well, or at least your big long-term project.
Before I leave, I'm gonna ask. I'm actually gonna ask Monica something before I leave. I'm gonna ask her about Janeth and her enemies, specifically, in things that she would know or be able to find at a library. Because I assume that she's a better bookkeeper than anyone here, and she'll.
He's a researcher.
Yeah, researcher. So I would like to know enemies, weaknesses, any amount, even if it's just because a wolf is a wolf, but a wolf that has a specific gun, then that's going to have some more features to it that are directed towards them. So I want to know if there's like, is there a symbol? Is there something that makes it so that's weaker? All that kind of stuff I would like to see if she would be willing to do that. And if she needs something in trade, I don't know information side. Sure, I'll see what I'll think about what her the payment for such a favor is.
So who are you asking again? I didn't catch the name.
Monica.
I'd say it's
Monica herself.
Monica,
research
again,
stuff.
yeah, because I assume that she's the one that would have the most. I'm not going to ask Stefan. I'm going to ask with him present, because it's I don't want to, of course, step over his part in that, but, I will be asking her directly.
Okay. She flips through her book. I'll let you make a roll. You make... How high is your intelligence, by the way? If it's a dump
I
stat,
got a
then
14. I got a 14, so a 2. I got a modifier 2. I know I made it higher because I was using some wizard stuff. So
Okay. I want you to make me a history check with advantage.
thank goodness that advantage.
17. Okay. Jen's enemies. Well, I mean, okay. Specifically in terms of combat, she does have enemies, but that is a different story in what's applicable. So Jenathan and Zygon don't get along. You know that for a fact. So Jenathan and Zygon do not get along. So the Mark of Jeneth, its strengths. So creatures who bear the Mark of Jeneth are physically a lot more powerful. They are capable of, say, tearing entire trees out of the ground and chucking them, or grabbing boulders and hurling them. It's also a mark of strength that's typically given to giants as well. People who bear the Mark of Jeneth also are capable of shrugging off all manner of physical effects. Like, they can no-sell a fireball hitting them in the face, or they can no-sell deadly poisons. But there is a limit to how strong that resistance is. But typically anything physical, strength, dexterity, or constitution save based, there is a good chance that they might just be able to power through with the Mark of Jeneth.
I'm in danger.
Interesting.
In terms of enemies in a combat sense, well,
Like anything to
Oh.
weaken them. Like anything that something that is counter to their domain. That would basically make it so that even with that mark, it's just basically like putting two magnets with polar opposites together.
I mean, with Jeneth, although they have physical strength, they're typically much more susceptible to mental attacks. Intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saves. They don't naturally have any defenses to those. So, you can disable it or trick it with illusions, because they're typically not that smart. They do have fantastic instincts, but instincts will only take them so far.
So basically, they're a barbarian on steroids, is what I'm hearing. I'm getting magic resistance, possible legendary resistance, great physical saves, not great with the mental stats. So basically, just a literal barbarian wolf.
Zorg 1v1's wolf.
I know. Not now. We'll do that. Oh gosh.
Zorg 1v1's wolf makes mount. Rides
Yeah, I'd be
little
more-
doggy.
I'd be more interested if like you got it and you could like wear the wolf skin, like the lion skin that Hercules had, so that it basically acts like a cloak or a hood of like giant strength, like the belt of giant strength. That would be kind of cool. I'm hoping that if we actually take this thing down, that's a possibility. I don't know if the mark works like that, but so especially for Zorg, we can just give it to Zorg. So yeah, that's good to know. Okay. Anything else that a 17 would get me? Because I know I'm kind of scraping the barrel, but I want to make sure I'm going into this with all hands on deck in terms of information. Because God, this sounds like mistakes could be a problem.
Since this is a common challenge that Jeneth likes to sick on people, the wolf in particular, it is capable of reacting to every single instance of damage that it takes.
So it's a reaction, not a reflection.
That is correct. It does not.
Okay.
It does not reflect damage back. Instead, when you damage it, it can either move closer to you or make an attack.
Okay, so it is a melee attack. That is it's a melee reaction. Kind
Correct.
of in like gamifying terms. Okay, gotcha. Melee reaction, not a reflection. That I was worried about that because I'm like, what if we just like? I know it's got great saves, but if a fireball does hit, does it like send back like 15 damage back to the person because it's got magic reflect on it, like the Tarask has? And I was like, okay, no, good. Okay,
It probably
I
has
think
more
that-
than one reaction too.
I am. Oh man, I know. Reactions per everyone. Oh yeah, I can't wait for that one. I think I know. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Unless there's anything else specific, I think I'm good with that. Do. I will thank Monica, and I will ask her what she wishes in return for such information. She was very helpful.
Okay.
Within reason, I will specify that. Like, within reason, please.
I
Well,
can't get his antennas or one of his arms. I whispered to her.
could you repeat that? I think your mic
I
might
said,
be.
I whispered to Monica, you can't have his antenna or his arms. I know it looks like he's got extras to spare, but he doesn't.
He needs
She
'em.
she asked for you see a flash of disappointment go across Monica's face, and she goes, "Oh, well, in that case, could I get the mark of Janeth from the wolf if when you hunt it?" The mark of Janeth itself, it's likely going to be a part of the patch of fur.
I kind of in the rendition because it was accurate, right? Because it's one of the pictures drawn by the nobles or like for the official thing, so it would be an accurate image of it, right? Where the mark was located, or like
Yeah.
should be located at least. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
will-
is an official one, so yes.
I will kind of takes away the idea of it being a cloak later, but I think it's worthwhile enough as a yes. I will agree to her terms. But I make this one requirement that should I or Stefan not be the one to land the killing blow, the trophy shall go to the one who killed it. And should that be the case, she can ask for another token of myself.
Another token of yourself.
Now you're getting
I
into
did
the
not
area where I
stumble
told her
my-
she couldn't have it.
Listen, I didn't stumble my words, but I'm gonna be very. I know if she. Listen, go ahead. What does she say?
Why are y'all
I
like
need-
allowing Monica to have that rocket raccoon fetish?
Thing is, she's not Ash, did you mention anything about seeing Quelkek's soul go out of his body or anything like that? Because I'm not entirely sure if she realizes.
I tried talking and asking questions about that to Monica and to Stefan while we were on the boat, and I had his body, but with how Stefan kind of was skipping over it and bouncing around it, I figured we were trying to avoid something. I don't know what we were trying to avoid, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, then she would likely reference what you had said and says, well, she probably would have seen your soul go back to the body, so she's going to ask you to show her basically you ejecting your soul out of your body. And basically ask for information based on your abilities. You can limit her to how many questions you want, but she doesn't put a limit herself.
Just
In-
remember, she
in-
researches everything.
Oh, don't worry. I am well aware of her inclinations towards that.
Just
So
be prepared.
I need to be very careful here. But I'm going to go by the tried and true, ever-present theme by 3 questions, and they have to be basically single answers, not just like there has to be an answer to it. An actual answer. And if you get what I'm saying, like if she can understand that, like this isn't write a documentation. This is like give an answer to it. All right, not a dissertation, like an essay question on a test where it's like 4 of them. It's like no.
She'd probably agree, but any question you can't answer doesn't count.
I am well aware of that. Yes. And I Quelkek in my head fully expects to answer her questions in full. There is no reason for necessarily him, like, there's nothing about him that's, like, why would he hide it?
Okay. Do you
What-
want to
what's
just
gonna happen?
resolve all this now so that we don't forget later?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So, all right. So,
I mean, I'm writing it
Yeah.
down, but
okay. So, Quelkek is going to show the soul eject. You're probably gonna.
oh wait, what? No. That's afterwards.
Well,
No. Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
like that's afterwards if she doesn't get it. That's saying like if we don't get it, you get your
Yeah.
3 questions, you get that thing. So that's afterwards. Should me or Stefan not be the one to land the killing blow?
Oh wait,
that is the-
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like if we don't, it's like the second best thing. Like she gets her questions.
Okay. All right. I'm getting ahead of myself because I might forget this
I was-
later as well. I'm
I'm
probably going to
writing
forget
it down. I'm writing it down right now. I'm writing it down.
it. All right. All right. Okay. So we got that. All right. Okay, so Quelkek, scouting. So
Mhm.
just so we don't take too much time, we're just going to speed through some of it. Make a survival check for me, for just
Okay.
general tracking, general surveying the area. The wolf is on the move. It typically is not stationary.
Oof.
14. Okay. So, just give me a general idea of what information you're looking for, and then I'll provide said information.
So first off, I know that it's at least out. I would know that if it's being provided as an option, it's assumed to be in the area, correct?
Yes.
It's within range of it being able to be hunted. Okay, so we're gonna kind of work backwards off of that. My first thing is information flow. Basically the people who had it, it's like you can give me this information, but it's like where did you learn of it? How do you know that it's here? You know, like why are you offering this? And then basically it's like if you're offering this because it's official, unless you're just hiding it for some reason, then it's not necessarily a hunt. Then it's it's like a predetermined game sport. I just would like to know where it was last spotted. And then if they don't give me it, then I'm going to look for other people who have... I'm basically going to... Because I've been around in the slums for a while. And
Okay.
legends would have gone around of like... they might not have said like the exact thing, might not have recognized it, but the idea of like a demon
Sure.
wolf or something in the area, basically. So I'm going to start top to bottom, and if that doesn't do anything, I'm going to basically have to spend some time in the woods and see whether or not I can track down this thing based on... Because it acts like a wolf, right? Or I assume it does?
It can be a little bit different. It does terrorize humanity to an extent.
Oh,
Not
well, that would...
actual like murdering people, but it does say kidnap. It does eat livestock, break fences, and do other things like that.
We're looking for large wolf attacks, not werewolves, but
Yes.
possibly that. So I'm gonna look in those areas, do some scouting, see if there's some dead animals in the forest. If people don't know where it is, I'm gonna have to do some groundwork. So that's kind
It
of my
makes its
step here.
presence. So this type of creature does make its presence very known. You don't need to look very far. The descriptions of the purple wolf attacks are very easy to come by.
When
Okay.
you ask what does it
It-
eat, it's easier to tell you what it doesn't eat.
Yeah,
exactly.
that is true of this creature. Yes.
So where is it in terms of region, biome, like general? Its attacks must be centralized. It must have a hunting
It's-
area.
It is aware that people are trying to chase it and trying to kill it. So it does seem to change locations every few days. Right now, it's trying to stay more in like lightly forested areas, but more so like located right next to wide open floodplains.
That's an interesting one. Is there a pattern to it? I don't know if I have 14. Is it a pattern towards like where things have been hit, and then is there villages it hasn't hit in the area where it
Uh,
may be going, where people haven't been terrorized, and how dare those humans not be terrorized?
It seems to be kind of like making a vague path. Like you can chart with based off of its previous attacks. You could basically draw a line or a zigzag between villages. It's definitely just making sure to go through an area.
Ah, okay. So staying on the move to avoid staying in one place for too long, but still hitting its targets. Okay, so it's still there is a pattern to it.
Yes.
What's the next one that it hasn't hit by word of mouth? And in terms of like, what's a name of village that isn't on everyone's lips? Because I assume I don't know all the villages in the area. Or maybe a map will tell me. I don't know. But I'm looking for the next one that hasn't been hit.
Let's conveniently make this a place that the party had gone to earlier. So remember Iron Ridge Mine with the army ants? This is Iron Ridge
Mhm.
Village.
Oh,
This is a
okay.
village right in a mountainside that has iron in it.
Mountainous region. That kind of puts us on. I assume that the mountain range, the village is located in like the rocky portion, or is it in a nearby forest? Like, is it built at the base of the mountain where it's not heavily?
So,
I'm just trying
I'd
to figure
probably
out
say-
where it's going to come from.
I'd say it's locale, so while the village is located in a hill, it's not mountainous per se. It
Yeah.
does have the little hills that it's located in, but the nearby area would be a mixture of forested as well as wide open great plains, basically.
The mining town, how well defended is it? Because I know that they were attacking those ones. Is it
Uh,
enough of a target where it would okay, in comparison, that village in comparison to previous villages that have been hit, does it avoid or do less damage? Basically, how eager is it depending on the defenses of the village? Does it actually get excited when there's defenses and all of a sudden it goes in even harder and does more damage to like spite them, or does it like avoid those areas?
So it's a test of strength, so it does like testing defenses in case of a demonic attack, so it does like tearing its way through places. So Iron Ridge is recently fortified due to army ants flooding out of the mine and seemingly evacuating out of the mine after your guys' stunt.
Oh dear Lord.
But it is pretty heavily fortified. It's most definitely going to get hit by the wolf.
Okay. Yeah, the army ants can't do it. Send in the freaking demonic wolf. All right, we'll go there. It's a good target. We can try to utilize. I want to make sure that's in though. I know it's going to be kind of a sacrifice, at least initially. I want to catch it while it's charging, not when it's still stalking. There's a difference. So I want to position. So the game plan here is we utilize range. It's going to basically be able to jump out of pits destroy any snares that I utilize, meaning that traps will most likely be useless against it unless I want to spend days digging like a 50-foot hole in the ground and, I don't know, chuck Greek fire down it or something and kill it. I think it's going to be able to basically deal with those ones, so trying to trap it isn't going to work. So we're just going to have to do blunt force with magic and saves. So I'm going to have to tell everyone who has any amount of mental psychic damage to start throwing that around. So, but my idea is that I want to scout it out, see what's happening, be like, okay, this is where it's happening. I want to know ease of use. But this is kind of just general stuff too, like like where we're going and stuff, where we face it. I just want to find the place that would be the it still is a creature of flesh and blood, so it still has some limitations in terms of its mobility, right? Or at least I assume so. So I'm going to choose a place that'll possibly, it could just jump up things, but I want to find a place that the wolf would find at least irritating to try to climb or to do something. Like the path of least resistance that also goes towards the most defenses. Like those two things, because it wants to challenge, but it also wants to make sure they can get there fast enough. What is that place? How do we position ourselves so that we are behind it, so that when it goes forward, it either gets to choose us or it chooses the wall. That's my plan there. And then we just start slinging spells at it.
I'd probably say that I'd probably just make a map. I'd probably just make a map for this, and then we would figure it out then. It's probably, judging on the defenses, it's probably not going to be so simple. You've also got reports that it can leap pretty high.
That's why. Well, if it has a strength enough to move boulders, its legs got to be freaking jacked. So it's like, I know that this again. I'm just imagining a barbarian here, just like roided out freaking wolf here, like one of those images of like make muscular man in an AI generator, and it's just like absolutely steroided. That's this dog right now. So again, I'm not using bear traps because I'm just going to assume it may not break the chain, but I guarantee you it's going to break whatever it's connected to if it's not like made out of steel as well. So I'm not going to. Traps are unfortunately not a game plan here. We just, it's a test of strength. We're just gonna have to face off against it and try to whittle it down with mental spells. So we can't stealth away from it though, because that's the biggest deal, is that if its instincts are good.
I mean, the thing I will mention is that the Festival of Prosperity is going on right now, and there are some little tricks that are used to entertain the masses, which include just stationary images. If you want to utilize illusions to see if you could trick it.
I've been already thinking about that. I don't have it, which means I gotta go I'm trying to figure out. I'm openly talking about this so that the party here can kind of just start like thinking about it.
Yeah, we'll assume that I'll be telling you about the scouting, but we'll assume that part of this planning is also with the party. Like you're basically like our conversation is basically like you reporting back to the party, and the party can do whatever they want with that information to make preparations however they please.
So I'm going to speak plainly here because I'm not going to do Quack's voice for all that explanation. So I'm going to basically lay out what he's laying out for you guys. So the idea is that I come back, see this. The idea is that we allow the wolf to attack because we need to confirm that the target is there. We need it to attack it in order for it to be at least engaged initially, hopefully so that it loses the initiative, at least has a lesser time of it, and we have a better time of ambushing it. We're not going to beat it in the woods. Not even close. There's too many of us. Too many times that someone can fail a stealth roll. Meaning that we just have to try to face this thing off in essentially a two-prong attack. There's going to be people... I'm thinking people in the front begin to engage it, but we need rotation. So the people in the back are slinging... If you got something that's got a mental save on it, do it. Anything that's able to paralyze it, try it at least once. I mean, I'm already looking at stuff like Mind Sliver right now to try to basically have that thing rolling over playing dead with whatever pitiful damage it does. At least it does something. You know, if it fails, it's saved there. So if you have something like that, basically, I'm like, I don't know how quick I would describe it. Just like psychic stuff, like mind games. We want to play the mind games with it. He also wants at least one person. He wants to know who knows illusion magic. That's a bigger question because I was getting to that because I have a little bit of something, but I don't have a lot. So I need to know who has illusion magic in the party.
I don't think any of us do.
Oh, no.
I really don't. I
I
am
think,
a set
like,
things on fire type of boy.
Zalal was like our illusion guy, I think.
Oh no.
Pyre does speak up though when you talk about wisdom saves. It would be abnormal, but I do have a spell that encourages peace. If someone is not a combatant, it makes it so they are inclined not to attack them. If you want to be... how do I put this? If we can put it in a position where its only way out is through someone, and then I make that person just not let them get out, then it'll be trapped. If it attacks someone and I cast the spell on them, as long as they stop attacking, it'll be extremely difficult for it to attack them and finish them off.
Quokuk agrees that it could be used in two ways, technically. Should the creature be so focused on someone to be enraged, it may indeed continue to attack them, not knowing that its things were missing. Or it may simply ignore the now downed ally that you protected. So he sees that as an absolute win. And he suggests that if you are going to play it, if you need to, use it as an emergency first off, but if there's an opportunity, he says that basically here's the signal to do it. Target person. That person is going to act as basically target the person who's been the most annoying the combat. The most annoying person you can possibly think of that will constantly be in that thing's way and try to draw it towards it even though it can't frickin' hit it. Basically make it
As long as they're not...
Okay. I'll do my best sneak.
Ash repositioning into a sneaky position. Quelkek, it might be best on you as the healer to prevent it from focusing you down should it break ranks.
Zorg will hold it down.
He's expecting you, Zorg. He explains that he expects you to be the front line in this. You have stated that this is your challenge. Quokuk wishes to give you your time of glory, but he suggests that you remain vigilant of the other motions happening on the battlefield, that you not become so focused that you essentially get shredded because you remain in the fight for too long. Rotation will be the best bet. We need to drag its attention out among everyone if we are getting to the point that we can't contain it. Mice also just have instincts where it knows its own number, but I'm hoping that's not the case here because it's a challenge here. And that it's not, and then if it fought off, like, I hope it doesn't, but it could. That'd be kind of funny if it did. But the point is that we want it to try to target new people. And I also suggest something else as well. Who knows prestidigitation at least? Okay, I'm the only one who knows it. All right, well, I'll just save my game plan. You know what? I'll just save my game plan for the moment. I'm not going to let the DM know what I'm thinking right now. I'm just going to spring it on you when the time comes. Don't worry. I can't let you counter it. It's going to happen on the moment. So, for that one, yeah, rotation, we need it. I'm thinking that it has really good instincts, but does it have magical instincts? Which means that we need 2 things to be working here, which would be, well, I'd only know about mine, so I'm going to be using my familiar as essentially a destruction target, because while it doesn't have enough health to even survive probably 1 attack, but it's 1 attack. That's a little bit better than nothing. So the point is that Pyre and Zorg, if they agree to it, will be in, or at least Zorg will be the initial contact in the first wave. He'll draw it in as will basically give enough distance that Zorg will announce his challenge. Make it look official. That you are like alone. It may be able to sense us, but make it clear that we're just like audience members. We're just here to see our friend get killed by this wolf. And, you know, it's his challenge, right? Let Zorg go out, announce it, make a big fiesta about it, have the thing that, even if it's attacking, I don't know, have the villagers draw it or do something about it. If they come out and help us, great. Then now it's got to deal with 2 armies. But if it comes towards Zorg and he makes a big fuss, engages on him, then that's when we go in. We start just like slowly. The people that have the mental scores, every time it's their turn, they throw it out there while it's still attacking him. And then if he's starting to get low, we do whatever, or like what Pyre's thing is, and then we continue to attack it if we need to actually do rotation because Zorg is getting his butt kicked because the DM rolled a nat 20 on a claw attack. On a claw attack. That would not be good. But it can happen.
Pick up Zorg by his neck and fling him across the battlefield.
We are hoping that does not happen. That's the point we're not trying to get to. And of course, the people that will not be there are Monica, because we are not doing that. Also, Stefan will be in the back, unless he wishes to go stabby stab for a moment with invisibility. But Quelcuck does make it clear that out of everyone here, Stefan technically has the most, I don't want to say the most to live for, but he puts in a way of just like, you have something to come back to. So the idea is that we're going to put you in the point of, if it goes poorly, you get out. And in his head, Quelcuck's like, he's already thinking of that. But like, I'm just going to say it out loud for the purposes of the party. Just so everyone knows that if he gets out of there and things are going bad, they're not just like, did he abandon us? It's like, well, probably would.
Yeah, it makes sense. Newlywed and all that.
Yeah.
Howard.
So he so Quelcuck does make that aware to everyone. And with Ash, I don't know. Ash has his crossbow, but is it magical? Do I know that? Who has magical weapons, by the way?
I don't think anyone has magic weapons at the
So
moment.
Pyre raises a hand and says, well, not in the traditional sense. My armor allows me to make elemental attacks. For this situation, I'd be choosing melee, which would be more sonic or thunderous.
I technically am an Eldritch Knight, so I get a magic weapon as my summon.
So right now, are we like literally just trying to plan on how we're trying to... Alright, well, I've been kind of quiet because, of course, I'm going through my botanical guide. I see a good amount of stuff that I can try and use. I can try to make some sort of concoctions to either try and poison it, paralyze it, give it the shits.
Just bear in mind,
Yeah,
with
but
the
then
mark
if
of
it runs,
Jeneth,
we can't catch it. Because
Yeah,
it'll be running and slipping, and it'll be running and running.
Yeah. That's also what he's gonna say. The Constitution saves. That's what I'm thinking. Like,
the mark of Jeneth does give it.
like
there's
just as a
limit.
question.
There is a limit to how
I'm-
many con saves it can bypass, but
But there's other saves that it probably has struggles with, like
yes.
Quelcuck would ask
spells
Ash
like this.
whether or not he can make arrows that have it so that he can utilize, because he knows that he's seen Ash using ranged weapons. So I was wondering if that, even despite it having such impressive physical resistance, is it possible that with multiple hits you can whittle it down with your various poisons, create enough confusion within its immune system to essentially bring it down?
Essentially, it's the list that I've made. I just gotta go over with the DM to see what all I can make. I got at least like a quarter of a page of ingredients, but it's just putting them together and seeing what we can come up with.
Okay.
There
And I
would
tried
be
it.
an
It had the
option
wrong save.
that we haven't considered. Every
Well,
trap needs bait. If I position myself correctly, I'll be able to move, assuming he knows distances, Zorg 180 feet. I could teleport him from one side of me to the other. And if someone is there to enlarge him, he could probably wrestle it into submission, assuming the fire doesn't burn him.
Enlarge him? Does anyone have reduce or enlarge?
That would be the crux of the issue. I do.
I pat
Okay.
But it would be
Monica
a
on the
touch
back
spell.
And say, I'll bet we do.
I think Monica has enlarge reduce.
Oh no.
She's likely going to cast fly initially, if you bring her, but that is a risk.
It's such a huge risk.
I can give Zorg a few things that might help him either buff his speed or strength. Do you want to take meth or do you want to use cocaine?
Still a mix of both.
Well, the thing wants a challenge. Zorg wants a challenge. Why don't we do both?
Go hard or go home,
Instead
right?
of thinking up a true trap, why don't we think of a challenge arena? Instead of thinking of it as predator and prey, think of it as an orc intruding upon its territory.
Quoko imagine that's the idea, is that we want Zorg as the one to make the challenge, because if it has any amount of like magical inclinations towards the trueness of one's nature of the challenge, which it could, Zorg's already said he wants to do it, so if he says it, even if it has that, it should be able to believe that he's said that with truth, because he does, which means that our ambush, in quotations, because it will probably see us, we'll try to stealth, but again, probably will. Even if it sees us, we're just there as an audience until we strike. But the teleportation thing is an interesting one, mostly
It could
because
also get him out of danger.
yes, that one is something that I'm thinking that if you could do, that would be basically Pyre's the secondary front line right now. So it's like Pyre goes up, slings a few spells in the beginning to basically start like weakening it, messing with it. Like we're talking that I want to grab some flasks of fire, not flasks of fire, oil and stuff. I want like oil, and also to have any amount of like explosives, like fire. I don't know what they have here. Fire, not firecrackers, large sparklers, any sort of like American
Thunderstones.
Yeah, anything that has like a burst of light, anything that's like flashing, that has a consistent flashing light to it. The whole
could
point-
do pyrotechnics, but that
Exactly.
tends to be constitution based, out of character.
The point is that we want to confuse it. We want to blind it. We want to make it so that when something happens, someone strikes.
I might have a plant or two for that. I also have a few plants that could cause smoke screens.
Quelkek would warn against smoke screens. The reason why is because he has it. The point is that most likely the creature will be able to detect you through it, either by scent or by movement. It has enough instinct on that, and even then it may just jump out, leaving whoever is in there blind because no one can see through smoke. If
I
required,
suppose
If required, though, what we can do is instead of blinding us or it, we can blind specific details, like a sparkler that's put down. Cast like fog cloud, have someone basically drop something in it on the ground, exit out of it, and then have it fall. Like basically when the fog clear smokes, or like when the fog disappears, the thing's still on the ground. We lead it over there, boom, blinded.
We could try irritants. You know anything that would, well, be like eating hot peppers?
Yeah, Ash, do you know that?
I got a lot of culinary stuff as well, stuff like that. I was debating on doing that just because I was wanting to try and feed it the plant that might cause it to have diarrhea. You can't really fight if you're, shitting.
Well, actually, I have a thing for that. Ash, or Zorg, how do you feel about skin cream? Ash, how would you like to make a skin cream for Zorg that is infused with it, so when it bites him, there it is. It's gonna bite him.
War paint.
Yeah, war paint.
Zorg.
War paint that's poisonous. So that it's essentially just like he bites him, and even with you can't get rid of a burning thing.
It just depends on how long I have to try and make this, because if it's in the rush of battle, it's gonna be a hard thing to do. If
this is preparatory.
If I can prep with time, I feel like we could be able to do it as long as I can take my time with it. Because I'd have to definitely take my time to make sure that the poison doesn't seep through his skin. Try to figure out how we can.
Well, even if you
him from not getting.
Well, you could do it
from our own thing.
You could do it as this way. Why not have sacks on his armor, or have gauntlets that have it in like sacks that require a certain amount of force in order to break? That thing's going to be biting down. Not only that, you can actually change it up so that Zorg has different poisons across his body. His right arm has this, his left arm has this. He can switch between them, having different targets for the thing to bite down on. You can essentially turn Zorg into a walking bioweapon that this thing has to try to bite down on.
Sounds this sounds very dishonorable.
I was gonna try and do that with my arrows.
George
as well.
gonna take a shit pile of damage from this monster.
Not only that,
I'm not trying to put him in the front run like that. I can do a
Also-
lot of that stuff with my arrows too.
Zorg isn't trying to kill the wolf.
Well, in Drenzis, you normally do kill the wolf. Like, these things
Zorg's
are meant to
taming
be
this
killed.
wolf. He's
Ooh.
taming.
Zorg really wants
will
to
be-
animal handle this bitch.
This will be Zorg's wolf. Zorg is going to speak with the animal. He is
Listen.
going to have a contest of strength.
Quellkick already
He's gonna
understands
test
that.
the wolf.
That's the reason why he sent you out there, and he said that everyone's waiting because you get your chance. You get one turn, and he gets one turn, and then the rest of us come in if you can't deal with it in the first 2 turns. Okay?
No, Zorg has a point. What if we have it communicate with him? Give it a trip, some really good hallucinogenic drugs.
How do we get it to
Zorg
him?
no longer is an orc, he is a god.
Bro, this Raven Blight, I got you. I got you with some
You know what, Ash?
steel root and some visionary mushrooms. The triple threat.
Ash, you got a lot of stuff to. So 3 things: arrows, various types, vials that are essentially just like your. I would say that instead of vials, if you're trying to get into its mouth, right?
It's essentially whatever I can. It's gonna be either with nuts or with glass vials or with whatever type of sacks. I've thought of multiple ways to try and get my type of chemistry attacks to
Poke a hole. You could create a balloon, poke some holes in one end of it, use pressure or to create 10 to 20 streams of it to essentially just squeeze the sack and comes out.
Man, this botanical guide,
it's
it's perfect with a lot of stuff. Like I said, I've been looking. It's part of the reason why I was quiet for the longest time. I was letting y'all talk about it before I was I think I got an idea, bro. I got half a page of just ingredients that I want to mess with.
But
Make
let's-
whatever you
let's-
want.
Let's make this about Zorg. You want this to be a introduction to hunting as a group, right? why don't we, instead of having 2 plans, just one? Zorg tests his mettle against the wolf. We do everything in our power to keep him alive, but Zorg is the one who has to convince the wolf that he is the alpha, the dominant, the one who is worthy of note.
I told y'all,
And-
I'm ready to give Zorg the fucking meth and like the cocaine. He got this.
Yeah,
Zorg
yeah,
101v1.
Both of them, both Zorg and the wolf, they can have this spiritual
Ash.
insight.
Ash,
We can have totems, fire.
Ash,
meat.
can you make a blowgun?
Yeah, blowgun, that's honorable.
So the idea is that well no here's the idea. Blowguns only deal 1 point of damage. Reduce that's down to 0 due to his resistance as a barbarian unless the GM says otherwise. Which means that you can essentially just stick him full of them and the wolf will never know if he's in the middle of combat. So yeah, you could just stim him up from a distance.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could make one with the lizard folk. We got like natural craft of like natural weapons.
You could also buy one at the fair.
Yeah, so
And,
so the idea is that if you want to buff him up, fine. But we need to have a point where it's no longer the idea that we can't just let him go forever. Qualcock's trying to make that clear. Like, this is not the point. The point is that guess what? If he accepts this challenge, the thing's gonna run him down. If he tries to run, which means we have to finish it. We can't just let this thing
Yeah.
go.
we
So
We know we have to kill it, but we know how to kill things. What we don't know is how to tame things.
we need to
Think
set
of
a
the
limit.
story, Quelkek.
We need to
I
set a
think I got
limit.
some animal handling. I don't know how good my animal handling is. Let me check my.
My animal
The limit
handling
is when
pretty
Zorg
gas.
asks for help or when he dies.
That is a no. Qualcock is not allowing that.
Zor will be fine. Zor's got 3 death saving throws.
Oh my gosh.
Face death like a
Okay.
man.
How is he supposed to tame it if he's not willing to put his life on the line?
He is, because he's willingly going out there. All right,
It's
respect
in
his
Zorg's
choice.
character sheet, man. I can stare down a hellhound without flinching. I face problems head on.
Put
Your
your
health
trust in
is-
Zorg.
guess what? Your health and level doesn't say so. Okay?
Hey, this is a hellhound, bro.
Thing.
This is a hellhound. Straightforward. Head on.
Oh.
That's simple.
Ash, you have your grocery list. Make grenades, arrows, needle guns. Basically, make it so that you're able to deal damage. Make at least the paint for him. Make it so that, you know what? Make war paint for him. Give him his, like, tattoos or whatever. Make sure that's the poisonous kind, though. That's all
Can I
Quackduck is
give-
asking.
Sounds
For
dishonorable.
my item,
Does anybody check to see how it handles force damage?
It's a
I
physical
do have
damage.
magic missile.
Unless if it has a barbarian.
What
sub-
if it's immune to poison?
Well, is it all
It's-
dealing poison from Ash? I can't imagine they're all dealing poison. It's an effect, not a. Or is it? Or do you classify poisons anything underneath the poison damage type?
It's not all gonna be under one singular umbrella. You
Okay.
will.
Okay,
they'll all
because
be
I'm
treated
about.
differently.
Okay, I was just about to say because I'm like, if that's the case,
Ash knows
then
what he's
Ash-
doing. Ash can
But-
select the poisons that wouldn't be canceled out by magma blood.
Yeah,
Or
about
smoke.
blood.
yeah. All right.
He
Oh,
can
this
get
is
the
good-
ones
this
that are
is gonna go
blessed by
lovely.
the priest. We got some.
What if
priests,
it? What if
right?
it
You
poisons
know the
me
temple.
back?
He's gonna
Then
give
you're
you the.
both-
He's gonna give you the stim drugs that don't do it because he's gonna do his job.
What if he fucks up
And-
the job?
Well, then we're
But-
screwed.
but
You know, we're
Zorg,
already screwed
it's-
doing this. I think. I'm trying to.
Spiritual experience, Zorg. You
Nah,
get to
I'll be
go on
fine.
your spirit journey, get your spirit animal, and come out dominant or die. How is that not the most orcish thing I've ever heard?
You get initial meetup 2 turns. Everyone agree to that? Initial meetup, whatever kind of role playing stuff happens prior, 2 turns into combat. Still hasn't done anything. We got to come in. Deal for everyone. I don't
What do you
know.
mean?
He'll
What do
probably-
you? What do you mean not done anything? Like
You're
it's
not.
like
You know what? Out of character. This is all out of character. But I'm saying like 2 turns in. If you haven't if it hasn't submitted to you, and it's not even, and it's clear that you are absolutely losing the fight because you
Okay,
just
okay.
took a bite to your arm that ripped it off with a critical hit, yeah, we're coming in.
Dude, I have pretty good stats, dude.
No,
I'm like pretty overstated right now, I feel.
This
Unless
is
this thing's
when-
like crazy strong.
Oh my gosh! It was described as a giant. Why are we
Yeah.
questioning whether or not this
Zorg's
thing can
gonna
rip
ride
you
it.
apart?
Zoe's gonna ride it.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
We're all
It's
gonna,
not-
we're all gonna
Zorg's
die.
It's not the
ride it.
timing. How about
Giant.
when he's? How about when he calls for help? He's unconscious or he's bloodied. Out of character, bloodied means half HP.
I know what bloodied means.
Well, you see, by then I hope we just don't lose the fight in general.
Yeah. There you
That
go.
would be okay.
Don't eliminate by turns, because if it nips at him and then like backs off, then you just ruin the plan.
Running's always a valid strategy, guys.
Oh, we're not running from this.
Not when
I
it's
mean,
naked
like,
predator.
if we need to.
We can't outrun a wolf, Zorg.
Nah,
We can outfly, but we don't have Monica.
And we're not going to have Monica because she's not going to be there.
She's not coming.
Why would she? Qualkek would question this. Like, why would Stefan want Monica to come face
so,
this thing?
what
Qualkek
makes
is-
us think this wolf is gonna 1v1 me?
Me, absolutely 100%. I think you're going to get toasted.
Like, I mean,
3
like,
turns in.
what's gonna make the wolf want to attack just me? If the
It's
wolf
not
just
a wolf. It's a magical animal. Handle animal probably doesn't work on it unless Jorah waives the rules. That's what Zorg's concerned about. Sorry, that's what Zoid's concerned about.
I'm absolutely concerned about that.
can I
It's
tame
like trying
this?
to use handle animal on a person.
Is this
you-
tameable in Jorah's world? Like,
Are you
yes
asking
or
as
no?
a
To
player?
Zorg's knowledge.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
Zorg's
yes,
knowledge.
yes or no? Just
Like historical
is
records,
this
I guess.
is this pointless for us to be even talking about this
I think
Asking as a
so.
player or as a character?
as a player?
The character, I
You
think,
don't have the
raised
Mark of
himself.
Geneth yet. It would be an option if you had the Mark of Geneth, but you don't have the Mark of Geneth yet. You chose the Mark of Nile instead.
Dang. And we talked about this. Zorg can either have a bunch of like sub powers basically, or he could take a main mark.
What?
Well,
I believe that's what we.
That's not a separation. Your personal perk was that you were going to learn everything from all of the various gods. That's why you learned things from Gale, and you're probably going to learn things from Sanguine and Aqua from the Pyundans.
Okay.
But Geneth creatures do value strength, but in this particular case, it's kind of its job to fight to the death.
Zorg still wants to 1v1.
Capturing it is
You're
not
getting
an
your
option, probably.
Zorg wants to 1v1. Zorg's gonna convince the animal to somehow give him the mark of strength. It's that simple. And Zorg's gonna tame it. Best buddies, killing everything together.
Can we turn Zorg into a
Where do we
wolf
send to remain, Zorg?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, where's your will?
You like to be cremated or buried?
Yeah. I think
Buried
cremated
with the
because.
wolf. Buried with the wolf, preferably.
Oh, okay, well, that's one way of saying it, I guess, yeah. It's an interesting way. I mean, considering that after he's done with you, we're probably going to want to cremate the body because it's not going to be an open casket. So, with that being said, Stefan, what do you think of the plan so far? The idea that we're going to have kind of like multiple tiers of trying to whittle away at its defenses, both mentally with you and me, essentially in the back acting as really, we only have one spell, and that just happens to be Mind Sliver. I mean, that's it. Like, an illusion. I'm going to try to use Prestidigitation for stuff.
Well, I got another one he's going to have a little trouble with.